What?
Yeah, we're live,
Oh, that's
right?
nice.
Good day, nobody on the other end. I am Steve. I run and operate this.
Ferdinand, owner of Ragnarok, or team lead of Ragnarok, not owner.
I am Nickel Mips, player on Fenrir and team lead of Chimera.
And I am TK. I am a flex DPS for Oh Gosh Overwatch. Alright.
All right.
So, Steve,
Yeah.
do you want to take us away with the OCC Bailey?
What is the OCC daily?
Not the daily,
The OCC
the
basis.
basis.
Oh, like just talk about it. I don't know what this thing is.
Oh, I can.
First,
I can.
tell the people.
I can go off of it. So basically, the OCC is just it stands for Onomatopoeia Community Cup. Onomatopoeia is a server that has a bunch of different teams. They're from all different ranks. It's an SR list tournament. All teams are welcome here. Basically, it's just a gigantic tournament that you enter for free. Currently has no prize pool. Maybe looking to get one in the future. But as I said before, currently there is none. There is a large amount of teams. We have teams from Grandmaster all the way down to Gold currently. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Lots of very competitive. Everybody here takes it very seriously, and overall, just a great time in general. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I want to go a little bit more into the introduction real quick because people may not know us at all and not know what Ragnarok is. So Ragnarok here it's called Zonk Ragnarok. Part of Onomatopoeia, or at least part of what and Steve runs is called Zonk Esports, which is a separate part of Onomatopoeia in a way. And Zonk Esports is basically it's an esports called Zonk. Very self-explanatory. I'm the representative Team Ragnarok. We are a 4.3k team. I'm the local Hammond one trick for that team. Yeah, and then Chimera and Fenrir, which is what Nickel plays on, are our lower tier teams. They are both gold. And then TK is on Oh Gosh, and Nickel is in the OCC2 division. I am in the Premier Division of the Onomatopoeia community. And then TK is in the Oh Gosh team, which is in the Championship division?
OCC1.
OCC1. OCC1. Yeah, and that's around the Platinum Diamond level.
Yeah, high plat, mid diamond.
Yeah, that's basically it for introductions and everything. But we'll take it to the previous matches from this week. We had a bunch of exciting matches happen this past week or so. So we're gonna do a quick summary over those and talk about exactly what happened. So just take that away.
Yesterday was Elementals versus Reload, I do believe. Junior Reload.
Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and start off with the lower ranked tiers, OCC2, which is, as previously stated before, is the gold, platinum area. And let me go ahead and pull those up real quick. Okay. So for week 4, this is week 4, we are in week 5 currently. For this past week that we just had was week 4. There is for OCC2 there is Junior Reload versus Zonk Elementals, Thunder Gems versus Zonk Banshees, and then Zonk Fenrir had a bye week. Zonk Banshees versus Thunder Gems. The winner was Thunder Gems with a 3-2 over Zonk Banshees. Junior Reload versus Zonk Elementals. There is currently no score submitted onto this document.
Thunder Gems? I have 3-2 Thunder Gems.
Yep.
No, Junior Reload versus Elementals.
I have
Yeah, I have 4-0 Junior. Yeah, Junior
Alright.
Reload got 4-0. They won 4-0.
Which document you guys looking at? I'm just looking at weekly matchups on the.
I'm looking at the website itself.
That's probably a better idea.
That's
Anyways.
probably a better idea.
Anyways, for the OCC 1 matches, which is around the platinum and diamond level. We had DreamWorks versus Blink Strike.
Trying to
We had
keep
Fatality
alive.
versus Marina Vikings. We had 11-8 versus Boku no Aegis. And Zonk Leviathans versus Oh Gosh! Explanation point. So to start off with Zonk Leviathans versus Oh Gosh! It was a 3-2. Winner goes to Zonk Leviathans.
Sorry to hear that, TK.
Yeah,
I
it was
heard
a grindy match. Very
I heard
grindy.
that was a very good match, and
Yeah.
I heard Leviathans pulled out the reverse sweep there.
I actually want to hear a little bit about that match because I don't know. It sounded pretty fantastic.
So we opened on Busan. They opened on a Widow, and simply OG just could not deal with it. They ran over us. They 2-0'd us on Busan, and then we went to Hanamura. Hanamura was a very interesting match. I believe it went 6-5. Um,
3-4 on here.
Oh, is it 3-4? Okay.
Mhm.
We opened on a very basic defense. It was like Junkrat McCree, Hagarisa, Babs Mercy or something, and they just Symmetra TP'd to point, capped point, walled us off, and
Oh, the Symmetra
capped
TP.
point to the second
So
one, the
that's
same
That's
one.
like Cobalt's favorite thing to do right there.
So we decided to run a little mirror on them, ran the exact same thing, teleported a point, walled them off, and capped it that way. And our hitscan DPS Soul, who was playing Symmetra at the time, just popped off and capped us both points. And then we full held them the next attack. So it was a very interesting match. Hanamura was definitely the highlight of that, and then we went to Hollywood, where Ogash won as well.
4-5. That would have been a tough one.
Yes, that was also a very grindy match. Not really any kind of like weird strats. There were a lot of big plays on both sides, especially from our hitscan DPS Soul, who played Reaper at the time. We were running a Reaper Junkrat, I believe, with me on Junkrat. There were 4K Blossoms, 3K tires. They had Nano Blades for us. It was all in for us. We ended up pulling it out 5-4, of course. On the back of a huge Deadeye of Souls. And then we went to Route 66, where I believe it went 4-3.
Mhm.
Yeah, 4-3. We full pushed. I believe we were in overtime. Push. They had an amazing stall. We had about 2 minutes left on the third point when we were just about to cap, and they came out with a Hammond, Tracer, May, all of the stall picks, and stalled it out for 2 minutes, and we got the cap, but at what cost? They came out and full pushed us with 2 minutes left. And then we could not get the card around the corner, and they simply pushed straight past us. And then I was subbed out for Ilios, and yet again they ran the double sniper, and their Widow Hanzo just dominated us. It was a very, very close match, though. It sounds like their double sniper rolled us, but in all reality, when they weren't running it, it was very, very close.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised. Whiplash and Cobalt, when they do double snipers, are something to be worried about.
Yes, Whiplash, I believe we voted him player of the match for a reason.
Whiplash is either full carry or hard throwing. There is no in between with Whiplash. That is just the sad fact.
On to our next match, Elevate versus Boku no Aegis, right?
Yeah.
Elevate and DreamWorks, I think, are both scheduled to play this week's on Friday, so we don't know what's going to happen there.
That DreamWorks match is a big implication for OCC 1. If I believe on either side, I think OG moves up to the second spot with a win. So I'm gonna be personally watching out for that one.
Yeah, the only match played this past week, the 11-8 versus Boku no Aegis, and then the DreamWorks versus Blink Strike, as did previously, was not played, scheduled somewhere else on Friday, according to Steve. But another match that was played with Fatality versus Marina Vikings that ended up with a 1-3 going to Fatality.
No, Marina.
I knew. Oh, Marina. My bad. Yeah, it was the Marina Vikings took the win. Completely against everybody's thoughts. If you look at the weekly matchups inside the Onomatopia server, there was 25 votes for Fatality, only 5 for Marina Vikings. So they're definitely the underdogs there, and they definitely came on top and kind of just showed off to the entire server who's boss.
Hell yeah.
But, don't really know much about that game. Wasn't streamed or anything. I don't personally the players, but definitely looks like it might have been a pretty good match from the scores into the recap.
Going on to championship division, we have Ramen Titans versus Winter Solstice. And from what I can see, Winter Solstice got that 0-4. I don't know a lot about that match. Maybe you guys do.
I don't know much about it. I didn't know actually quite an amount of about Winter Solstice though. I can go and talk about. They've been together for a very long time. Back in January of last year, I was recruiting someone from there. They've been together forever, so they're definitely one of the stronger teams. Every single time I see them, I always pick them to win. I truly believe. Apart from maybe Johnny's dream team, I think they're probably one of the best in that league. They had the potential to be the best at least. Um, I don't know much about Bite Ramen Titans except for they like Fight Ramen.
Yeah.
But
Wait, are you interviewing Cedar Tree?
Yeah, I'm about to bring him in.
Oh, okay. I had
Okay.
okay. Anyways, Missouri Valley or River University versus Hanamura Hellhounds. That was a 3-1 going to Hanamura Hellhounds.
I'm honestly no surprise there. Hanamura Hellhounds are just
very dominant
very
team
strong.
in the
Yeah.
championship.
We scrimmed. Well, we played in OTC, a tournament a while back, and we got slaughtered by them.
Yeah, they're a very strong team. I talked to a few of the players and got to know them. Not really on a personal level, but a little bit, and they all seem like very good people and very talented players. I've seen some of them, their clips and stuff as well. Definitely one of the teams to look out for there. But anyways, the next match on this little listing is Missouri Valley versus Tactical Tilting. That went to 3-1 to Missouri Valley, and I'll pull up the weekly matchup thing so I can see what the votes were for on that. Tactical Tilting was much like the Marina Vikings and Fatality match. The Missouri Valley was one of the underdogs there. They actually took the win there.
I've watched Tactical Tilting play. I've casted a couple of their matches before. They're actually really good. I enjoy watching them a lot.
Yeah,
they do really well. They're really good at focusing targets down and just burning them out.
I've seen a lot of good stuff from Tactical Tilting, and I'm surprised they're not really higher up on the list there. But apparently we are going to be interviewing Cedar Tree, who is the owner of Johnny's Dream Team. They are currently number 1, I believe, in the championship division. Yeah. Howdy, Cedar.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
I don't know what my interview questions are.
How are you guys feeling about the tournament in general right now? How are you guys feeling y'all are doing?
Well, I think we're doing pretty good so far. We definitely came in like expecting to perform pretty well, but I think we exceeded expectations.
I mean, I just want to say I'm proud of you guys. I've casted some of your matches before, and you guys swapped to a couple tour icons just for me, and I appreciate that a lot. And the fact that almost half of your team names are easy to make puns out of.
Like
Odds are. Odds,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
odds are. Oh my god, it's too easy. And Oedipus, also too easy, although a little bit on the
Yeah.
on the unsafe side.
For sure.
I just want to point out real quick too. On the screen, you can see Gentleman Academy is actually seeded number 1. Giant Dream Team is seeded number 2 currently. This Giant Dream Team,
because Ungentlemen
they have it.
just played their 5th match today, which is why.
Yeah, I'm about to point that out. Giant Dream Team hasn't done their 5th match, and Ungentlemen took the early match and already played theirs today on Wednesday. Was like what, 5 days early, 6 days early. Yeah.
How are you feeling about facing the Krakens? Because there are a lot of matches September 3rd, and your match is against Krakens, Zonk Krakens.
Well, I think that we were expecting Gentleman Academy to be like our biggest opponent, because going into that they were also undefeated. And we went in there and we actually did a pretty good job in beating them. We took the first 3 maps. Not a lot of problems. They're a really good team, but we managed to come through. So against Krakens, I know they're also a really good team, but I think we'll be prepared enough to do it.
What have you guys done to prepare for that match, if anything?
So there's a hurricane coming to some of our players, so we might have to push it forward for the match. So we'll probably be scrimming pretty soon in order to prepare for that. And of course, we have our strats down for every single map.
You can't
So
You
give
don't
them
leak
away.
any strats?
You
No.
can't give them away. State secrets.
Yeah. How do you anything so far in the overall tournament or anything that you think that what you would improve? How are you enjoying the tournament overall so far?
I mean, it's like it's definitely the best, like one of the best experiences I've had playing Overwatch so far. Like the Discord's great, the website's it's really cool. Everything's great about this. I think in terms of like what we could do better, uh, going forward in the tournament, at least as a team, it's just like keeping our staying focused, going through the final maps, even if we're like up 3-0, because right now we've lost map 4 almost every time when we could have had multiple 4-0s.
So what
Yeah,
you're
getting
saying
that full sweep is very important.
is fatigue's kind of a thing with your team.
I don't know if I'd say that, but I think that people start to get a little relaxed after we've already won the game, and
Well, yeah,
people.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. Okay. And I think that maybe we don't end up like calming as much just because we know we've won at that point,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not too concerned about 4-0ing it. But I
It's
think that
it's a lot like any other game or any sport at all. It's in the final stretch you get a little bit lax, a little, even though you know that you're playing against people who are in theory just as good as you are, and if you let up they can come back.
Mhm.
And that can be a real problem for a lot of people.
yeah, like every single game so far, we started off with 2-0. Like we've never given up a point of control so far. We've never given up second point on 2CP. But like I think once we lost the hybrid map, the 3rd map, and then that was kind of like, well, we thought we had it, so that was a bit of a wake up call, and then we turned it on for payload, and we're able to pull through against that.
No, that's
All right, I just have another quick question. So going into the playoffs coming up, you guys have obviously put yourself into a spot into the playoffs.
Mhm.
Do you think that your team is ready to go into Premier if you guys are able to achieve that?
Yeah.
I think that I think
just
that
to one off with
we-
that question real quick. In going into Premier, I was kind of because my question was going to be, how are you going to prepare to go up against some of these higher ranked teams?
well, first off, we've had a lot of support players leaving just for school and other reasons. So we've actually gone ahead and thrown some of our tank players on support in the last match. And it's worked out so far, but like moving forward into the Premier Division, if we do end up making it, which I'm confident we will be able to, I think that we're gonna definitely need to be looking for some higher ranking support players for us. Yeah.
All right.
I'm always there. Not really. Just kidding. Not high enough rank for that one.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready.
And one final time, just for anybody coming in late, what's your name and team?
Oh, I'm Cedar Tree from Johnny's Stream Team.
All right. Any last questions, anybody?
No,
Nope.
No.
All
All
right.
right. I
Thanks
think
for
we're
having me.
ready.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you, man.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
it
Thanks
was
for coming
nice.
out.
Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
All right. So now we're up to Premiere, correct?
Yeah, I think that was a pretty nice questionnaire we had there.
Yep.
He's a nice dude.
So
Yes.
looking at Premiere, it looks like this past week we had 2 forfeits. Six Guns.
I don't know what's
and-
up with Premier, but they just forfeit left and right. These teams.
Hey, we haven't forfeited yet. Team Ragnarok hasn't forfeited yet. Neither has Team Yuri, so we
It
got.
looks like, I mean, like, it doesn't. It looks like there's not a lot to talk about right here, right now. We've had 2 forfeits, and the other match was an 0-4. So, does anyone have anything to say about Premier League?
Well, I mean, I'm a captain inside Premier League.
All right. So you want to tell us
Questions
what you're
away.
thinking? What? Yeah. What are you thinking about next week's?
Ragnarok should submit more clips to Media Day. That's what I think they should do.
Why? We've sent a bunch.
All
At
right.
least that 1 week.
So next week y'all match is against who?
Let me see.
Erie Panthers. Erie Panthers.
So what are y'all thinking about going into that match? Like, what's your biggest implication of winning that match?
So, I mean, you look at the statistics of everybody's little standings right now. Ragnarok is currently 4-0, 12 map wins. Team Yuri is currently 4-0, 12 map wins.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a pretty big match. You know, both these teams have so far gone undefeated within the Premier League.
Right.
So whoever wins this is going to be kind of a crown champion, at least for the time being, until the playoff match has come.
And I just want to
But
make a point. Going in the league standings, we have not only like still the standings from stage 1, but as well as stage 2. But we have a tab where you can go and see the seasonal standings, and those are completely opened up. No brackets or anything. It's just all the teams that have participated and where they're currently ranked. And Hellhounds is currently first with 8 wins, 1 loss out of the 9 matches played with a map differential of 24. But Team Erie now is actually second, with the Ungentlemen losing this last Monday. So they've been consistent throughout this tournament in the 2 stages they played.
yeah, Ragnarok wasn't able to participate in stage 1, so unlucky. But kind of wish we were able to, because Six Guns sadly hasn't really been able to play too much in this season, and I would love to have versed them last season. They're a very good team, so would have looked forward to the matchup. But overall though, Ragnarok also, this is something that I'm very confident in my team. But at the same time, there's a little part of me that's nervous because we are currently undefeated in scrims and in games.
Right.
So
important to keep that morale going.
yeah, we have not lost anything yet for the 2 months we've been together or so.
Who keeps scoring scrims?
I do.
Oh.
So
I won't keep score after the fact that we lose one, but for right now we haven't.
But until we
lost
lose one, we have that we're undefeated. Yes.
Yeah, basically, we have that trophy above us. But yeah, it's any team like this that we go against. It's just like they're a good team. We actually have scrimmed them before we won. I have to point that out.
But I
So-
watched it. It was an actual close scrim.
I was
going,
lagging my butt off the entire time.
going into this match. You say you're undefeated in 2 months you've been together. How do you think your team is going to? Theoretically, how do you think your team would deal with a loss if it were to happen?
If it were to happen, we'd
Yes.
just be like,
Try and brush
okay.
it off? Team morale is a big thing, and that's the only reason I'm asking.
With their
Team morale is a big thing.
I feel like personally, because I kind of manage them, like team morale, they would be fine, being that like Ragnarok and Team Erie are going to be 1 and 2 regardless, and it's going to be difficult, I feel like, for teams like the Messengers, Exodus, and Dirt, because they're kind of lower master with some GM players, to be able to compete with these kind of 4K teams when the playoffs come around. Now, I'm a fan of upsets, so I'm not saying that like it's not going to happen. I would love, as much as Ragnarok's my team, we run them. I want them to win because I want trophies, in my trophy case. If Dirt, who just came off of, a victory in the community crossover tournament that we were participating in, if they ended up just winning it out, I mean, it would do nothing but to prove that this tournament's fantastic and that just SR alone doesn't mean you're a better team.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that is the thing, and that's how it should be, really. I mean, that's kind of part of why it became an SR-less tournament, isn't it? Because in the end, SR doesn't mean a whole lot, but
it has
somebody's
its
SR numbers
for sure. But as far as
Yeah.
team play, I always like to go back and tell everyone to look at the Hanamura Hellhounds, and they just absolutely just demolish some teams, and they win some good games, and they're just a team that have been playing forever, and they have the chemistry, and their team play is fantastic.
yeah, because in the end, SR, like you said, does have significance, but if you can play well enough together, you can take out higher SR teams.
I've seen players, like, this is on my own team. I've seen players cut that are mid diamond that have been cut or have left because of not good synergy with the team. And like that's what it comes down to. You can't play on a 12-man roster and be a starting player if you don't have good enough synergy with your team. Like, yeah, you can be this mid-masters player, but you can be the most toxic fuck in the world.
Yeah,
So,
and that's why really OCC kind of does not tolerate
right.
toxicity. We really don't. When I was on Banshees, we had 3 people that were toxic, and we were gonna take them out, but then they left on their own. It was pretty nice. It was a happy day, but just
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just toxicity doesn't have a place in this game at all.
Right.
It is not. I don't think it does. I don't think anybody else does. There's no point to it. There's no rhyme or reason. So if you're toxic, just leave, please.
Right.
I love that. Please just leave.
Do we have any more questions for Ferd about Ragnarok?
I don't believe
Or
so.
the
I
upcoming match?
tried. Let me see if. Oh, who's this Jay guy?
Oh, hi, Dustus.
What's happening? What are we all doing?
Oh, hi, man.
We're doing the podcast and we're streaming it to
It's me, the
Onomatopoeia.
messengers.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
Yeah, I wanted to talk to Augustus. He came. Yay.
Oh. hey.
Sweet.
Oh, you're live. Oh.
Oh,
How's it going? I
feels
was unaware.
bad.
I just saw everybody was in channel. Oh, want to come in and talk, bro? Yeah, I wasn't aware that was a podcast thing. Hi, how's it going? What's up?
While you're
It's
here-
me, Augustus, the messengers.
Yeah, we just kind of wanted to talk about your team. Y'all are kind of sitting in 3rd place right now.
Yes.
You versus Dirt coming up. That's a pretty big match. It's got some significance as far as. I still think map differential wise, you'll still hold 3rd if you lose. If I'm not correct.
If they 4-0 us, then they will take map differential.
Yeah,
If they
would take it, yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's not gonna happen,
one
so don't worry
map
about that.
win. No, it's not.
No, don't worry about that. It's not possible.
What position do you play for messengers?
I play moral support.
Morals. Okay, so yeah, I got you.
I'm more of a coach / janitorial
yeah.
staff at this point.
Right.
Janitorial staff. That's the way to put it.
Yeah. So I was support, and then I don't know. Basically, we made this team as like a mid diamond team 3-4 months ago, something like that. Well, no, it's been longer than that. Around 5 months ago, and a number of the players just started growing rapidly. It was most people's like first time playing on the team, so for a lot of them, like once they got into like a team environment and just kind of like started growing in that fashion, they rocketed up in SR. I didn't. So, so as they've been improving, I hit a point where I felt like for them to get as good as possible, it was better for me to step back. So that's I don't really play anymore. Although we're setting up an academy team now, and I'm planning to
You gonna
bring
coach or
that
jump into that?
I'm gonna play, but it's also like I'm getting a lot busier with like my film work near the end of the year, so uh, I might be more of a sub. I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, I was support. I'm more of a coach now.
What do you think the Messenger's chances going into this playoff push are of actually taking the Premier League title from Ferd?
I'd say it's pretty possible.
Unlucky.
Budding
Genuinely.
rivalry. It's a budding rivalry, boys.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I mean, I don't know. Against Erie, like, even though it ended up being like a 4-0, 3 of those maps came down to overtime.
Yeah, they were actually, because I watched, I think it was cast yesterday by Into, I believe. And
Yeah,
Jamie
it was
producing.
NCU or
And
however you
yeah,
pronounce
I
it.
was
Yeah.
watching a lot of it. It was close. This is what you were saying.
And that's with us having we just changed like the entire support line like 2 weeks ago, something like that. So you're still sorting out a lot of stuff. And so we ironed out a good amount of it over the last week, but I think we figured out a couple more of the things we needed to work on. So I think that by next week even there's probably going to be a significant improvement. And yeah, with how close that was, I think if they end up playing Erie again after they've had a little bit more time to get used to each other and iron down their strats, I think it's extremely possible they could beat them.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's how good play is formed, is a good rivalry. I'm looking forward to watching this
I mean,
match.
I don't know, man. Like a lot of it on another day they would have won that. You know, a lot of those genuinely came. Which map was it? Hollywood. Hollywood genuinely ended up coming down to our May dying right as he got a freeze that would have held them off of the 3rd point.
Speaking of Hollywood, what is the upcoming map pool for week 5?
Week 5 we are looking.
Yeah, go with Justice, because I don't have that prepared.
It's
Slideshow.
Lijiang. It's Lijiang, Anubis, Blizzard World, and Junkertown. We were just talking about it earlier today. And then I think Ilios is the tiebreaker.
That is
Ilios
glorious.
again? Oh,
Or
I
is Busan the tiebreaker?
Oh,
I
I'm
am
tired of
so
Ilios.
so
It would
happy
be
right now.
Busan because
Busan's
it was the
tiebreaker.
main.
I
Yeah,
am
Where's
so
Busan's
happy.
tiebreaker.
where's that at?
What's up?
Where's that at on the website?
If you just go to the front page, it'll show. It might be week 4, but if you go
Yeah,
into
the front page
news,
is still
he
week
posted the whole.
4, but you can go into news, and in news, map pool stage 2 will be there.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
He's got to scroll down a couple entries.
That's okay. Cool. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. I was looking at it today, trying to figure out if we're gonna, because no leaking strats. Nobody knows. I'm pretty sure every single person in the entire server knows the Ragnarok strat at this point. But map pool stage 2.
I'm
Okay.
so happy about that. Lijiang, one of my favorite maps overall.
Lijiang is
Um,
just a good map in general.
Yeah, it is.
Lijiang,
Hey, this is a
Anubis,
good time for us to
Blizzard,
leeway and
Chunk.
talk about week 5 maps. Oh, look, I pulled it up. There's the image.
Lijiang, Anubis, Blizzard World, Junkertown, Ilios again.
I'm so.
Oh, I
tired
was
of
right.
Ilios.
I was fucking right.
God, that's
Hopefully-
upsetting. I'm so tired of Ilios, but Junkertown, Anubis, Lijiang, 3 of my favorite maps right there. I'm okay on Blizzard World.
The
This
past,
is why I'm the
yeah.
this is why I'm the team janitor.
Listen, man, the past 2 weeks, OG has gone to map 5. So I swear to God, if I have to play Ilios again, I'm gonna shoot myself in the head.
Ilios is the best map in the game. I don't know what.
Ilios is not, no.
I hate
Ilios will get remade.
Interesting enough, so Anubis and Junkertown haven't been in the pool since week 1, and then Blizzard.
And we didn't
were
even
refusing
get to
for
play
week
that.
2, so like
We didn't either.
so
We had a bye week 1, so that was.
yeah. So,
We got a they gave us a forfeit week 1. So gonna be interesting.
Yeah, can we get a pair of Savannah back to back?
God no. Please no. Don't do that.
Listen, as
I
a
actually
Junkrat
think
man,
that
I'm
was
enjoying
in stage 1. I'm pretty positive there was a Paris Havana week, and I did it
Yeah, they
because
were in there.
I remember making it and was like, oh, this week, yeah, everyone's gonna hate me, and I'm doing it.
Didn't we have it? Didn't we?
I'd just
didn't,
leave the tournament at that point.
Like
didn't we
by-
have HLC too?
Did we?
Maybe not. That might have been a different league we were in. Never mind.
All right, so
Oh no, Horizon Lunacon. Yeah, it was in stage 1.
God, I'm so good at maps. All right.
I'm just glad that Anubis is on there. I really love Anubis, and that gives me a chance to finally go Widowmaker again, and that makes me happy.
I
I'm
want
a
Hollywood
Junkrat
again.
man.
I don't get to Widowmaker a whole lot anymore, just
Give me
because
Hollywood.
certain maps.
Or give me death.
So I think we've talked about it enough. I think we should just go ahead and segue into our upcoming
Okay,
matches.
Mr. TK, you do you.
Well, the next matches I could find was September 3rd, and there's quite a few of them.
There are quite a few September 3rds, aren't there?
Yeah,
What
there
are-
is.
What are we starting with? OCC 2.
Yeah, we can start with OCC too.
Yeah, Zonk Elementals have a bye week.
I'm going to vote for the bye week.
That's not OCC 2.
So
found it, got it.
Zonk Banshees versus Junior Reload, September 3rd.
Yep.
Zonk Banshees is my vote.
I'm gonna take a sleeper pick and take Junior Reload there. I've seen one of their matches. I know. They didn't look terrible, but
So
am I?
currently on the weekly matchups, the Banshees are up 16-5.
make that 16-6.
Wait, what?
I'm
Your-
voting for 'em, boys.
Your picks for Junior, the reloads.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Reload on that match.
So
My picks for Banshees.
My insight from Junior is that they actually got the win this afternoon. They played the Elementals, but the Elementals allowed them to pull in a ringer, and that ringer was actually like I think high diamond master player.
Oh wow, I was not aware.
And so it'll be interesting because like there's no restriction. They can update the roster and add this player to it.
Right.
Our rosters get shut down after week 5. We put the hard lock on it.
Right.
And this is a new thing for stage 2 because in stage 1 we didn't have a roster lock for playoffs, but we will for stage 2. So they can
Right.
add them and potentially, take it the whole way. But
Run
any
the
team can
table,
do this.
yeah.
But what happens there is, so you add a master player, right, to your team, and then you win the table, you get promoted, then you find yourself in OCC 1 with one master player and a bunch of silvers, and it's
Against,
that whole.
like, flat
Can
diamond
you
level.
really probably compete with those teams? I don't know, because one person I don't believe can carry you further like past a plat diamond whole team.
Right.
Unless that one person is getting 4 to 6 kills every team fight, no. Unless that one person is literally just carrying the whole time, which is damn near impossible, really, at the end, unless they're an Overwatch League player, to do that much against everybody, because OCC 1, they're better. Obviously, they're going to be better. They're going to be more cohesive. And if they realize that this one person's carrying them, they're going to burn that person down every time they pop their head out.
Yeah, I believe so. And then on the Banshee side, I know they've been working, I believe, the last 2 weeks without a main tank because the main tank of the
Yep.
team left. So if it would be cool to see if they can pull in an actual main tank player for this week that can play with them throughout the playoffs, and that might actually change their whole game versus having to have
Covering
other
for
people
them.
sub in
It's interesting.
in playoff
'cause
roles.
Reloads. None of Reload's matches have been particular. The score says particularly close. You have an 0-4 week 1, 0-4 week 2, 1-3, or they won 3-1 week 3, and then they got the 4-0 against Elementals last week. So it's gonna be interesting. What does Zonk's schedule look like? Zonk got a 4-0 week 1. They took they took a forfeit in their favor week 2, lost 2-3 to Elementals week 3, and then lost 2-3 to Gems week 4. So I think their record says this is going to be definitely a very interesting game. I still think I'm going to take Reload, but I don't know.
I think I'm gonna take what I take every week in weekly matchups. I get to pick both teams. I'm gonna stick with that.
It's true.
Cheater. Alright, so what do we have next?
Fenrir versus Thunder Gems.
So the Elementals are on a bye week.
Mhm.
The bye
Yeah.
week will give them a 4-1.
Thought it's a 2-0.
A 4-1, right? And their map differential will move to with the 2 maps to 5, which means Thunder Gems need 3 maps in order to take first.
So basically, they need to win
Yeah.
Mhm.
If Thunder Gems can 4-0,
and not win by a 2-1.
Yeah, they need either to tie and win 3 maps or win all 4.
And considering that they're versing the lowest seeded Fenrir, I think they're gonna take that game.
I think
But I'm here
possible.
now. I wasn't here before.
Yeah,
I
you're
wasn't-
still gonna lose.
I wasn't there before.
And Fenrir
just
did
made
just
it.
surprise us. Let me go to them. Yeah, they surprised us last
tendency-
week, right?
Who they beat?
No, they didn't beat anyone, but they took their first map off of Reload.
It's the 4th seeded team.
Still the 4th, but they took a map. And a map is all they need to pretty much ruin Thunder Gem's, first place seed.
That's true. But they're not gonna win, in my opinion. So I'm still going for Thunder Gems.
I'm biased. I'm going for Fenrir because I'm on Fenrir.
I love me a good underdog story. I'm gonna take Fenrir here.
Yeah,
Look,
so
I was not on
Fenrir's gonna
Fenrir
take it.
at all
Underdog,
this whole
'cause-
stage
Yeah.
so far. So by God, now that I'm here, it's gonna be different.
Right.
Now that I'm there, because they had no DPS sub. Now I'm there as a flex DPS sub. We can have at least one rested DPS person per map. So, I mean, that makes a big difference. It's like we were talking about earlier with fatigue. Fatigue does make a difference in this game.
Right.
Ragnarok has 0 subs.
Feels bad.
So, how do you feel about team synergy going into this match?
Me?
Yeah, especially with bringing
Um,
you on board and everything. Have
I
you
feel
guys
good
played
because
before?
I was on Fenrir before, back when it was known as French fries. The team captain of Fenrir, Darktide, he was my first friend in this server when I joined the dev team.
Thanks, just like overall.
Yeah, since I was born.
Oh, Lord.
No, but in this server, he was the first person I actually, other than Cobalt, who brought me into this server, he was the first person I met, made friends with. We play a lot together, a lot of comp. Me, him, and a couple of the other people on that team. And so I have a lot of synergy with most of them. Darktide and I, when we DPS together, we know what we're good at on each map. So I think it'll just be different with that. Because I know what he's good at on each map. He knows what I'm good at on each map. So it's just different now with us coming in.
Well, no,
So-
I'm rooting for you.
I think we
Good,
take a look.
thank you.
That win.
Do we want to segue into playoff picture of OCC2, or do all playoffs at one and just kind of go into OCC1 matches the next week?
We should just do OCC 1 championship and then
Okay.
predictions first, then playoffs.
Then,
so
then as
for-
the segue we go, I want to give a shout out to, I don't know who Hawaiian Shirt Goblin is, but I just remembered that we're also on Twitch, so it would be nice if we have someone reading the tweets or whatever the fuck they're called. And he said, I know nothing about Overwatch, but I'm here to hype my man TK.
Oh yeah. And they're yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks for
Mom.
being here. We probably won't teach you about Overwatch. So
To be
you'll
fair,
still
we don't
not-
really know anything about it ourselves.
Yeah, you'll still not know.
Love
Oh,
you,
there he
Jasper. All right.
Anyways,
So,
guys,
segue
segueing
board
into
up.
OCC1.
Here are the matches.
Uh,
All right, matches are
While
left.
you guys are doing that, I'm gonna go use restroom.
Have fun. Good luck. Don't die. Never mind. Don't do that. Yeah, Boku no Aegis versus Leviathans. Right now, currently, it's favoring for Leviathans in terms of votes, with Leviathans getting 11 votes versus Boku no Aegis only getting 3 Pepe hands. I
There you go.
believe I'm not really able to see the entire scoreboard because Steve's covering up half of it.
It's a feature.
Can you just move the little
Wow.
schedule to the right a tiny bit?
There you go. Wait,
Okay,
what am
that
I doing?
works. Nothing, that's fine. Alright, so yeah, obviously you can see Leviathans is higher than Boku no Aegis, so there's a favorite there. There doesn't look that much of a difference though. Because Boku has only played 3 maps versus Elias's 4 maps. So simply it could just been Boku just hasn't been able to get, the
Yeah.
the maps in for them to be noticed.
Right.
Who are we talking about?
Boku no Aegis versus Leviathans.
Okay.
Both teams are very strong. Those were OG's 2 losses. Both of them very close, but I think here I'm gonna take both no Ages here. They got the cleaner win against us, and I know a little bit more about their team. Their main tank is a monster.
I'm gonna go with Leviathans because I know a little bit more about them.
I'm gonna go with Boku no Aegis because I like the name Aegis.
Not even going for your family team.
Yeah.
I don't think I've voted for them
Wow.
once.
Wow.
I don't think I've voted
What?
Leviathans once.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
the
Aegis is a really
Leviathans are
nice
currently
looking
up
shield,
13-14. I think the public has spoken, and I think the Leviathans take it.
Well, maybe because the more active people on the server are Zonk people, and they're biased because they're Zonk. You're thinking about that one, Chief?
I'm going off of, but here's why I believe they take it. I believe it's going to be a Boku forfeit.
Unlucky, dude. But they have Aegis inside their name, which is a really strong mythological shield from.
I think he's gonna kill one of the players.
I'm going to mute for
Yeah.
He's going to nerd out.
wait,
Listen a little bit here.
he's telling the truth.
He has a shield, so they're not
He's
gonna
telling
lose
the truth
because
though.
he has a shield.
The shield of Aegis.
Yeah.
It protects against everything.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Although I think if there's one thing that will break that shield, it's probably Cobalt Hanzo.
That's a singular thing, or it could also be like a giant drill. That might work.
It'll be interesting to see how Aegis play against Leviathan's double
It will be.
sniper.
Yeah, I will say the Leviathans, what they have going for them is the double sniper play with Whip and Cobalt. But
Because they're both extremely good at those snipers.
They're good, but they can get cold at times, and if they get cold,
True.
It'll be tough for the Leviathans to take it. You'll need to see the new main tank of the team, Calhoncito, to really step up. He's been
And he is a
recently.
very good tank.
Yeah, he's been absolutely murdering it, but he'll need to absolutely, I feel like, step up to kind of get their team. Let me pull this down because they sit in 5th right now.
I'll give him the secret tip of how to win Overwatch.
I don't know. This game has big implications because both Leviathans, Boku, and Marina can all take that number 6 spot next week. Based on how the match is, which I think it would be good. Right. So we can talk about the Marina DreamWorks match, which is, I think, a 4-0 to DreamWorks in my book.
Yeah, DreamWorks has been doing really well.
That's who I'm voting on. DreamWorks.
Yeah, DreamWorks is a really good team.
I think I'd take DreamWorks here too. They're very, from what I've seen, we haven't played against them yet, but they're a very strong team from what I've seen.
Yeah, strong. They have 0 maps dropped, and I just don't think Marina can pull off what would be really, they need 1 map to win in order to jump the Leviathans.
Right.
I don't, and the Leviathans would still need to be 4-0'd. No, I don't think it's happening.
Yeah. Well.
Then what else we got is the
Oh gosh, and fatality.
Blink Strike. Oh gosh, fatality. What is that sitting at? 12 and 6. 12 votes to oh gosh currently. Oh, 13. Someone just voted. Look at that
That was
live
me.
updates.
Oh, that was first. I knew it. I knew it.
The stocks are up.
Let me hold up. Let me make it 14. Sorry, I haven't voted yet.
Sorry, let me make it 14-7.
God, now you're just being assholes. 14.
No, yeah.
14
Wait,
votes currently and 7 for
I didn't
fatality.
vote. I did not vote yet. That 7 is not me, I promise.
So here's the thing. I think fatality takes this match.
Really?
Mm.
Yeah. I
And why
really
do you say that, Steve?
I think they've grown so much from stage 1, and I don't know if like fatality was actually one of the teams that was promoted into OCC 1, and I love right now seeing them kind of in the middle table. It shows me that they belong there. Their team is very strong, and it's just kind of a personal, because I'm gonna be biased against the teams that have been with us longer versus TK and his Ogagians. And I would like to see fatality take it.
Yeah.
I can
I have a
understand that
battle
one.
though.
I definitely think it's going to be an interesting match. Going either way, because looking at Fatality's record, they won their first 2 matches and then lost against Blink Strike week 3, and then took a forfeit in their favor from Visimus, who I believe dropped from the tournament, did they?
Yeah. Visimus dropped.
Yeah, they did.
And then they lost 1-3 to Marina Vikings. So really, they haven't had a win since week 2. An actual win where they played. It'd be interesting to see how they come out, whether they come out like raring and ready to go, or if they come out
Testing the waters, so to speak.
testing the waters. Like they might like. I'm not exactly positive how their scrim schedule is, but if they've been keeping themselves in check and keeping themselves warm during this time they've been off.
Oh, and what's interesting, I wasn't even looking up. And I forgot. I believe it was Cedar Tree was saying that the implications in these games are huge this week, because we third, fourth, and fifth seeds sit at 2 and 2.
Right.
It's kind of unreal with 1 map differential between them.
Right. It's very, very stressful for me and the rest of the oh gosh right now. Coming off a rough loss against Zonk. Just looking for that final win. If we can get this 3-1, I know that what's that called? Fucking gotta look for their name. If the Blink Strike versus DreamWorks match that's happening this week, either one of those teams losing that match,
That helps you guys.
it helps.
Well,
it
if
helps
Blink
us. So
Strike gets 4-0'd, they drop 3 and 1 with a 1 map differential.
Right.
And that gives you the opportunity going into the next week to actually
exactly
jump them into maybe make it into second, and then you would get that first round bye in the playoffs, which we will talk about here in a bit.
Yep. Me and the rest of the team have definitely been crossing our fingers and hoping for that. I know that I've been personally looking forward to this match since literally the end of last match. I've been keeping myself
So a day.
ready. Raring and ready to go.
I don't know. I think the scheduling. So like when I build these schedules, I actually put this into a schedule builder algorithm that I have created, and all these schedules kind of go out for the weeks, and I post them at once. So these schedules are pre-made. I find it absolutely fascinating that like of the teams that dropped out, and I've had to kind of like move a little bit of the scheduling around, that somehow still the 1 and 2 are kind of playing the 7 and 8, right? And then 3 is playing 4 and 5 is playing 6. Like that just this whole bracket is game changing for whatever happens in week 5.
Right.
I personally, I don't think it's even predictable on my end.
Did we talk about Elevate versus Blink Strike?
No, I think that's the
Uh,
last
that's-
one we kind of look at.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the last one we haven't looked at yet.
That's also a big match. For the entire bracket. If Elevate can pull out a win there with 3-1 or 4-0, depending on Blink Strike's match against DreamWorks this week, it's good for the entire bracket. So that means that the 3, 4, and what were we saying? 3, 4, and 5, they will all move above Blink Strike. Not only
Yeah, 2 losses, Blink Strike could actually go from where they're currently sitting second now all the way to 6th place. That is
Right.
crazy.
Jeez, that is crazy right
brutal.
there.
Yeah.
That is a tightly knitted bracket right there. That
And it's the same way for DreamWorks. If DreamWorks loses to Blink Strike and then takes a loss against Marina, it's devastating for those teams.
Yeah, they would be sitting at +2 maps if they got 4-0'd for 2 maps in a row. That's why like every map counts. Don't even
Right.
try to throw that 4th map. It counts.
people don't understand how map differential, like how important it really is in a playoffs. Like, because map differential, as we just said, is the difference between number 2 seed, number 6 seed. That's your map differential. Like, losing, what'd you say, 2 maps can put them down?
Yeah.
2
it can
matches
drop.
straight.
Yeah.
All right, let's. I kind of want to look at the championship, and I want to get Jag. He's joining us from the Hanamura Hellhounds, who's, I mean, I'm prejudiced, but my absolute favorite team in this whole tournament is the Hanamura Hellhounds.
Okay.
My
They're-
my first map I ever
I
match
love
I
the
ever
Dustus,
casted.
and the Messengers would probably be my second team. Actually, and I can speak for Det.
Don't
the
fucking
co-owners,
try to fix it now.
Det, his favorite team is the Messengers, but mine is the Hanamura Hellhounds, straight up, no lie.
Jesus Christ. Buy our merch.
There, we'll bring Jag.
We
in.
don't have merch, but
Jag
I
will
should
talk with
consider
us
it.
about
Doesn't-
kind of what's
Well,
going
so-
on in the championship.
we'll sell exclusively male supplies.
Hey,
Gentleman is
hey,
like number 10.
do you
Hello,
wanna
Jag.
kind of introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are, what you're doing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm Jag. I'm an off tank for the Hanamura Hellhounds, and right now we're going into week 5 and hoping that we can either somehow sneak our way into the top 2 or secure that top seed in the promotion playoffs. Yeah.
Pretty sure Hanamura Hellhounds was the first match I casted. I'm pretty sure.
That's cool. Was it against Ohio Warriors?
Tactical tilting.
Oh, okay, I remember that match. Yeah, that was honestly, I thought that was, my teammates might disagree with me, I thought that was our most difficult match last season during the regular season, last stage during the regular season. They played us really tight, and it's unfortunate to see now that looking at the standings, they're going to be playing in the relegation bracket. I thought they were a really good team.
I also thought they were a really good team. I enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching Hellhounds as well, but tilting, I enjoy watching them too, especially because their name. I like their name. It's great.
Yeah, I guess they like to tilt their opponents, or at least they try to.
What are we looking at for the first match this week in Champions? So let's talk about Ungentleman, because the wonderful, fabulous, I believe it's Insomnic, one of their team leaders is going on vacation, so they rescheduled and actually already played their week 5 match. And
Ungentleman did?
Ungentleman did. They played against Reload Academy this afternoon, to which Into was able to cast again. I mean, I love this dude's voice. He's an incredible caster, and I actually had some minor hiccups, but produced my first show here for you guys.
We're so proud of you, Steve.
Yeah, I know. I try so hard. apparently I'm just not doing enough in this organization. I just need to do more, right?
Just gotta carry it.
absolutely
Gotta
nothing.
carry it more on your back.
But with a 4-0, it puts them, it moved them actually back into first over Johnny's Dream Team.
Mhm.
You know, they're sitting there with a map differential of 9. Johnny's Dream Team, however, with the victory over Ungentleman, is with only 4 matches played, is still 4-0 with an 8 differential. And we can kind of look at that as our first matchup with the Krakens versus Johnny's Dream Team. Let's see, Johnny's Dream Team. They need 2 maps to take first in, you know, regular season play.
Well, I mean, personally for us, I actually watched the game today against Ungentleman and Reload, and it's really unfortunate for Reload because we just played them yesterday, so I'm sure there's a little bit of fatigue after that loss, and then Ungentleman just ran through them. I mean, there's not a nicer way to put it. They did really well. There were some really close moments, but I mean, Ungentleman just looked unstoppable. And as far as this match goes, for us, I mean, if Krakens could pull out a 4-0 or a 3-1, that would really help our chances of making it to the top 2. But I mean,
currently the Krakens are at 6 versus Johnny's Dream Team has 14 going for them, kind of like in the community votes.
I do think that Johnny's Dream Team has the edge. I mean, we've played both teams. We've lost to both teams. We had a very, very close 8-match set against them in the OCC 1 championship match last stage. Played Johnny's Dream Team in week 3. Johnny's Dream Team was just, they are so solid. They work so well together, and
Yeah,
they played better than us.
They're a new team in this stage, so I don't know. It's cool kind of seeing new teams and them growing. And but the Krakens, like you said, were the other team. I believe right with along as well as Tactical Tilton, y'all were the 3 teams promoted into this championship.
So was Ohio, but I mean they're AFK right now. So
Krakens, little W, Krakens.
I mean, I think that Johnny's Dream Team has the edge in this, but I think it'll be a really close match, and the closer it is for us, the better of chance we have. So,
well, and the Krakens, I know because I've, you know, they're part of my organization. They just picked up a new
NW Trent.
Yeah, Trent.
Yeah,
who actually used to play for the Ohio Warriors, and it'll be interesting to see if he is an actual game changer for the Krakens and can kind of take them further than where they're sitting now.
The one thing I'd be worried about is too many cooks in the kitchen. I think they have some really amazing DPS players. I think all their DPS players are really good. You can only play 2 at a time, right? So the question is, what lineup do you run, and how does it work? What heroes overlap? Stuff like that. So I think whoever is in charge of coaching there, it's gonna be.
I mean, yeah, that's a big thing, but also with Rollock 222 being the thing now, counter picking is bigger than ever nowadays. So it doesn't matter what they run, it also matters what whoever they're facing runs, because either they got to counter them or the other team has to counter them.
And Johnny's Dream Team I think they've mastered this meta over Sahag, so if the Krakens can, you know, try to either outplay them just playing the same mirror comp, or if they can try to crack it and run a counter comp, I think they'll have an advantage there, but Johnny's Dream Team is just really solid.
They are.
It seems like we're all kind of. I mean, I'm gonna stay with the Krakens because they're one of my teams, but it sounds like we're kind of all leaning towards Johnny's Dream Team taking this one in the end.
I'm leaning towards that. Yeah.
One way or another, it'll be a really close match.
Yeah.
It will be, and it will be very good to see. It'll be a good match to watch.
I wanna move down quick to so in NW Trent came from the Ohio Warriors, so I kind of wanted to leeway off and talking to that a bit with Winter Solstice for Ohio, and will Ohio have a roster ready finally for week 5? Because it's been a long time and they've been trying to build a roster, and I have some insight into how they're doing, but if they got a roster built and submitted for week 5, I think it would be a really interesting match between them and Winter Solstice, because it'd be a brand new team. We had no clue how they would play or what would be on the table at that point.
Winter Solstice has been. Were they here in stage 1?
They were in stage 1, yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
pretty sure I watched a couple of their matches. That's why I asked, just to
Yeah.
make sure it was them and not someone else.
Winter Solstice himself is a fantastic team, and
Yeah, they're
I
good
think
at they have good team play. They do.
I know they also participate in the UGC, and I'm not sure I believe they just finished either second or third in the UGC of like all the intermediate teams. So like I believe on Gentleman Academy and a few other teams like in our league actually compete in it as well. So I know that they're good, and that they have the team play there. I just it would be nice to see kind of Winter and then kind of take it over the top and just finish the season out very, very strong.
It'll definitely be interesting to see how Ohio, as you were saying, is a team that hasn't been able to build a roster, and a team that, like, if they get this roster ready for week 5, how they will play against a team that's been playing together since stage 1 at least.
Yeah, and I believe Winter itself, like, they've been an organization, and I'll probably get crapped on, but like 2 or 3 years, and the team itself, I believe, has been together for like over 1. So their synergy is like there and for certain. But with them sitting in 5th, they take a win, go 3-2. I mean, they could jump both Krakens and Hellhounds if Hellhounds and Krakens ended up losing.
Yeah, I mean, we could finish as far as 6th, honestly. It's really close. I mean, I know the OCC one is closer, but between like 3 through 6, like, honestly, it's anyone's game right now.
Yeah, I think both of them. The OCC won a championship. I mean, no offense to the other divisions, and I'm going to be biased again. They're my favorite. Like, they're the movement and the closeness of matches in this is just kind of unreal.
You must have been bored watching us in OCC one then last stage.
No, I was excited. Like, that was cool. Seeing teams that, like, when we initially roster people and put them in divisions, that's the only time we look at a team SR, and our buddy Dark Tide and myself kind of worked on this algorithm, and we put it together, which is super simple. We basically averaged the team SR and their career highs together, and that's kind of where you will put you division-wise. And then from there, once you're placed, the only way up, as everyone knows, is to win, and the only way down is not winning.
Yeah, and I mean, it's such a cool concept. I've only been on the Hellhounds for like 4 months-ish, but we were in a different tournament that won't be named, but, it's division locked by, your average rank, and there's no real movement, and I think this is a good way just to, like, kind of test your boundaries and see, like, can you compete with people that, are in Grandmaster and you're only a Diamond player? And maybe you can, maybe you can't, but this is the only way to find out, and about, like, that upward and downward movement, you won't know how you're doing, like, if you're developing as a player or if you're kind of just stagnating.
And it kind of goes back to what we were saying, where SR has, it doesn't matter, but it does matter. Team play, especially in a game like Overwatch. Overwatch is a team game. It is a team game in the end. Yes, a Grandmaster can carry silvers, but once you're facing all diamonds, the team play is what matters.
Exactly.
It really does.
Yeah, I mean,
what was it? So the Hellhounds finished first place in OCC, won last. And I was, promoted, or like had the opportunity of going into the Community Crossover Cup, and I invited them and Dirt, who won, were just placed first in their leagues respectively, because that cup itself had a diamond cap on it. Like, it was, your team average had to be below 3,500, which means you may be playing with Master or GM players as long as the average of the team was below 35. And Jack, did y'all not make it, I believe, to the semifinals, right?
We made it to the quarterfinals. We won our first match, and then we almost reverse swept our second match, but lost the tiebreaker round.
Yeah, and that match was fantastic to watch.
I think that, I mean, looking at that tournament really briefly, I think the hardest thing was that, we were in 2-2-2 lock already, and there wasn't a 2-2-2 lock on this tournament, so at that point we hadn't practiced goats in a long time, and the team we played against ran out of goats, and we're just like, How do we do
remember
this now?
that. Yeah, I think it was the first map, right? It was like Ilios or something. And they just ran out
Yeah.
like oh goats, and even the announcers I remember watching it were like, apparently goats is still a thing.
Yeah, so I mean, we were just there to have fun and get better. Obviously, we couldn't pull it out. Dirt did, which is obviously great for OCC. We were rooting for them, but it was just a great experience to represent, this league that we really love to be a part of. So just having that experience is amazing, and thank you for letting us do that.
I am so glad that 222 was introduced to the OCC before it went on to Overwatch itself. I don't think I could have stood another stage of goats. I don't think I could have done that.
Yeah,
I didn't like goats so much because I'm a projectile DPS main, so I don't think I could have. Yeah, I could not. I like Brig. Brig's fun, but hey, hold mouse one. No, I'm not Reinhardt. No, I don't want to do this anymore.
You're really gonna love Symmetra then when you get to hold mouse against the shield.
I do enjoy that because I can big brain people with teleporters.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
like just like playing Brig made me feel so brain dead, and now like in these past match and in these past scrims that I've been playing, and like playing Maysim feels really good. Being put on May instead of Brig, it's just like as compared to goats where we're stuck on Brig, it's like I feel like I'm not as brain dead as before.
For me, doing Doomfist has been a wonder. I love playing Doomfist, always have, and with Hackfist being, a solid comp against most other comps, it's
Right.
if played right, it's a wonder for me because I love playing Doomfist. But I just couldn't stand goats. Never could. Unless I was Zenyatta, then I could.
So what are we looking at?
Now, which one are we looking at now?
Oh, let me pull the matches back up.
We've talked about Winter, Krakens.
Yeah, pretty much the last one,
Hellhounds.
Tactical versus Veet Ramen, and let me take this away. Tactical sits at, it's pretty much an upset game. Tactical, it looks like we'll be playing, the Titans will be playing regardless in another OCC relegation playoff. However, they can upset Tactical Tilting, who can perhaps make the jump into making it into the 6th seed with what does it look like? They need a 4-0 win or at least a 3-map differential.
They probably need I think they need a 4-0.
If they 4-0, they'll put Tactical Tilting back down to 9, and they'll jump up to 8.
What if Tactical Tilting 4-0s, they can possibly jump into 6th?
Yes, that's what it's looking like.
Yes.
Depending on the outcome of Missouri Valley's match.
So if the Titans even, and I think Tactical Tilting, looking at it, I think they have to 4-0 it, don't they? They can't.
It depends on how Missouri's match ends. So if
Right.
Missouri loses to a 4-0, it'll bump. Let's see, Reload lost 4-0, so we're keeping them in the 7th spot. If Missouri loses 4-0, that'll bring them to a 0-map differential, and bring them below Reload. And then if Tactical wins, then
at that point they would only need a 3-1. At that point, if Missouri gets 4-0'd, Tactical will need a 3-1. So if Titans take 2 maps, then
they can still win the tiebreaker. I think if Missouri Valley loses at all, Tactical wins, they jump up. And I think if Missouri Valley loses and Tactical loses as well, Reload jumps into the 6th spot. From what I can see, because Reload has a better map differential right now.
So
Missouri can lose. Missouri can lose by 1 map and still stay above Reload.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But
Actually, if they lose by 2, I guess they'd have the same differential.
Personally, I'm fully expect Jag to just kind of pull this one out, and Hellhounds 4-0 Missouri Valley.
I mean, that's the hope, right?
Calling it now.
We'd love to help Tactical get in, honestly. We want that map differential. We haven't gotten a 4-0 yet, so we wanna prove that we can still get it after, we only 4-0'd last stage. So we're gonna, go all out and try to win this as hard as we can, just like every match we play.
And if you do get this 4-0, I believe that bumps you up into the first spot, depending on Gentleman's match.
Yeah, it depends on Johnny's dream team versus
Yeah,
Kraken.
Johnny's dream
So,
team.
like I said earlier,
Yeah,
we're
no,
pulling
yeah.
we're hoping Krakens can pull it out one way or another. But
So y'all can
we'll
at least
see.
get second, because with 9, y'all would finish 8, so you'd still be on 1 below on Gentleman. But you could take second place.
Yep, that's what we're going for right now.
It feels like this bracket is a lot closer than it looks.
Yeah.
Looking at the championship, like once I'm actually like looking at the numbers, it's definitely a lot closer than it looks.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to Cedar Tree a little bit earlier, and like you said, although Johnny's dream team is undefeated, they have not 4-0'd any team, so the map differential doesn't really show as dominant as they've been. And then Ungentleman has been able to stay up at the top. It's been really, really close, I think, between us, Ungentleman, Johnny's, and Krakens, honestly. And Winter Solstice is hanging out there too. They're really close to us.
Personally, I think I'm rooting for Tactical to get the 4-0 here against Fight Ramen.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Tactical to get into 6, like to be able to get.
That's what happened.
Be an interesting story.
So with the Titans, what happened with them is they were in the relegation playoffs, right? And I believe they actually won on forfeit. So like
They did.
Wow.
Yeah, so they were
They did.
able to stay in championship based on forfeit. And at that point, I asked the team itself, hey, do you guys want to, like, I'm giving you the option. You won, you're welcome to stay in championship, or if you'd like to kind of move down, you're welcome to move down to OCC 1, and they wanted to keep competing, and that's why they're here in championship. And I don't know, like, as far as I feel like results now, it kind of, I'm not saying it's a bad choice. I feel like probably with the games that they've played and the knowledge they've gotten from the losses, if they end up losing again and not making it past the playoff of relegation this time, and they move down to OCC1, I completely seeing them probably promoting again instantly into stage 4.
The Titans are interesting because we were in that division with them last stage, and they have some pretty. They have some DPS specifically that are able to put in some really good work and pop off. It's in the team play that things tend to fall apart. And so if they can get some of that together, there were a couple fights where they kind of scared us when we played against them last stage. We ended up 4-0ing them, but we went in with a specific strategy built around how we knew they played, and even with that, there were still a couple fights where it got away from us. So I don't know. I think they are better players than the standings make them look. I would love to see them like actually get a win here.
Yeah. I don't know. Like in the weekly matchups, I get a vote for both teams because I set them up.
That's fair.
You're cheating. Come on.
He never loses the bets.
I never lose the bet. But if I'm gonna pick a team, I'm gonna go with Tactical Tilted this week.
I agree.
That's who I'm gonna go with.
Yeah.
We've played both of them, and even though Titans did take a map off of us, I think Tactical Tilting is just the better team.
I believe in the Titans.
Yeah. I not yeah to that, but yeah to I believe I believe Tactical Tilting gets a 4-0 here and moves up to 6th spot.
I think even if it does go to a 4-0, I think it'll still be a good match to watch. Just to see, just watching them go up against each other. And especially because it is kind of an upset match, it can be. It'll just be nice to watch still.
Yeah, it has big implications.
But I do have, but Tilting does have my vote.
So are we ready to move on to Premier?
I believe so.
All right. Thank you guys so much for having me, and
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for being here.
Sorry, thank
have a
you.
great rest of your nights.
Oof. I think I
So with
clicked
Premiere.
the wrong buttons. Oh, here we go.
What?
I clicked the wrong
What did
buttons.
you
I pulled up the OCC one match. It's not from here. Here we go. Here we go.
Whoa, wait.
All right, I'm doing it right. Well,
You sure?
I guess the news hot off the press, and we can get to it right now, is allegedly Six Guns is dropping from the tournament after forfeiting 2 weeks in a row. And this directly moves Exodus into the 6th spot, even though they're currently in 7th.
That's unfortunate. They forfeited against us too, so I hope whatever's going on is
remedied soon. Because
yeah.
they were fun to watch. They were really fun to watch. They were. I enjoyed
just-
watching them.
I just want to see them after goats.
Yeah.
Like I just want to see them outside of the goats meta. So I was really excited to play against them and see what they were doing.
Maybe Ferdy can give some insight to how that went.
So you think that do you think they're dropping altogether or just for this week?
They're dropping out of OCC. That's why they've been forfeiting, because they don't want to compete in the tournament.
All right. Well, that's unfortunate.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know entirely why. I think it's because they had some roster changes around, because they had a few players. I know they had a few players leave, and then they had the one player go to the Iceland.
Yeah,
team.
give a shout out to them, Ferdy. I don't know. I don't remember who the name is, but
Futhark or Futh. It's either Futhark or Futhart, depending on how it's
man.
pronounced.
Yeah, from us, fucking congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, they were the team that went to the. Oh, that's great.
That whole team is Team Iceland.
That's fucking amazing.
That's not true.
Oh,
they had a support that's not true. Just one of their supports is on Team Iceland.
I was gonna say I thought they were the ones that had somebody get put on Team Iceland.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I
Yeah.
remember it being one person, not the whole team. Wait.
Yeah, it always sucks when that happens. When you lose a good player like that, but you're still happy for him. I remember when Sinatra left our team to play for the Shock. It was it was a difficult.
Oh, that's awesome.
Moving into these matches, seeing that 6 is dropping. What's the first one that we want to talk about?
I think we just start with Dirt versus, or actually,
start from the bottom up. We went from the top down last
Yeah.
time. So we got the
so
big
yeah.
one, Dirt and Messengers. There's a lot
Messen-
riding on this match.
The Messengers don't stand a chance. Tell you right here.
Coming from the Messenger's janitor.
Doesn't stand a chance.
So, looking at standings right now, Messengers can get a 4-0 here and move above either Ragnarok or Erie, depending on
If they 4-0'd.
yes, if they 4.
Whoever gets 4-0'd has a chance to drop to third.
Yeah, which is huge for that week 1 playoff bye.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. A lot riding on this match, like we said before.
Is that possible?
Uh-huh.
Is it? I
If-
don't know.
There's a 10 map there's a 10 map difference.
Oh no.
I don't think it's
You'll
possible.
still sit 3. Yeah. I think we went over this earlier. Like Ragnarok and Erie are 1 and 2 regardless.
We're gonna
Okay.
firmly
Yeah.
clinch third place here.
Ragnarok's
But
one
what it
regardless.
was is if Messengers get 0-4'd, Dirt could possibly take the 3rd place, and that would leave. Let me move this away. Well, and that, I mean, it all goes down to the Illusion match as well.
Illusion versus
Exodus.
Exodus.
Basically, like I feel like 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place are not safe. Those can just be kind of jumbled this week.
Yeah, those
Nah.
are subject to change, but looking at it now, yeah, I can see 1 and 2. It'll either be Ragnarok or Team Erie. It
Yeah.
will not change.
third is safe. Don't worry about that one.
So, saying that 3rd through 6 can be jumbled around. How does that affect playoffs? Looking at this, so of course Ragnarok and Erie are going to have the round 1 buys.
So
Actually,
really, the only way it affects playoffs is wherever
Who
you end
faces
up in
who,
the standings. Yeah, it's who faces who. And there's always people, it's always, hey, I want to face this team.
Well,
I
I
would
was
much
gonna say,
rather face this team than this team.
This is a pretty good leeway into me bringing on our playoff bracket image. So
That took an hour to
playoffs-
make.
That took me like an hour. These guys are sitting here like, guys, we're ready to podcast, and I'm like, well, first my children have to go to sleep, and then they can go to sleep, and I'm like, well, now I need to create this cool thing so that like we can have a visual
He was
look.
gonna create one, and then we decided to create them
Yeah,
all.
and then I was like, can we just do like one, like the championship? And he's like, nah, we might as well just do all
No.
4. So, hey, bear with us. We have all 4 playoff bracket thingy made. Yeah.
So which one do we want to do first? Do we want to start with 2 and work our way up?
Well, we're already on Premiere, so let's talk about it.
That's true. That's true.
You know, this is going off right now. The current standings with Ragnarok in first, Erie in second, and if everything kind of finished as is now, what I want to, this is the new playoff bracket for all divisions as far as being promoted. And no longer will 1 and 2 have an automatic promotion. They will get a first round bye into the promotion playoffs, but they will still need to win that match in order to get to the finals. And whoever plays in the finals of the playoffs now will, both those teams, yes, will be automatically promoted. And at that point, the 3rd and 4th team that will play for a 3rd spot promotion, if that kind of makes sense.
Okay.
So if we're to make our picks based on this bracket right now,
I personally, I think Messengers would win against Exodus.
I definitely agree there, and I don't know if it'd be close.
I don't think this bracket right here is going to change at all. I think the only possible change is Illusion's going to 4th place, and Dirk going to
Into
5th.
Into 5th. So we're still
But
playing.
that won't
We
change.
still play each other.
So let's play it out. I moved the Messengers. The Messengers would then move on and play Ragnarok. Correct. So who wins that match between Dirt and Illusion?
Dirt.
I think Dirt would win over Illusion.
I do as
No,
well.
Illusions would win that.
I think it'd be close, but I've got my money on Dirt, even though I don't have
Illusion's
any
a
money.
4.1 team.
I
don't have any money.
What do we got, TK? You gonna break the deadlock? Or you gonna keep it even?
He's gonna say Dirt because they're 4th seed. Even though I can tell you right now, Illusion is better. I played both of them.
Well, I know that.
I don't
but,
know much about either team. That's the thing.
I'm telling you right now, as President Premier, Illusion is better.
But the problem with Illusion is they've had a lot of forfeits. They have a lot of weeks where they can't get their team together to play.
They actually, I don't think I'm supposed to leak this for them, but they're good.
All right. Well,
There.
in that case, I'm gonna say the Illusion. So we go 2-2. So then it goes to TK. What team makes it? And if you want, look at the current standings. Look at kind of the past seasons. And
Where
what
you
they've
can
gone.
flip a coin.
God, man.
Oh, this is weird.
Illusions has already taken a forfeit against Dirt. But that's like we were saying before. Like they forfeited. Their only win this stage has been a forfeit from Dirt. So,
But both their losses were to Erie and Ragnarok, who are the 2 best teams.
that's fair. They have had a very tough schedule. No, let me look at fucking Dirt.
But I will say, I'm not trying to like move you into a way. Remember, Dirt did just win a huge tournament.
I've been keeping that in mind, definitely.
Hey Steve, I got a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Can you look at the Messengers team page real quick on the Onomatopodcast site?
The Messengers?
Yeah.
I clicked it. What am I looking at?
God, does this look weird to you? Do you see? Do you see 4 players on there? None of which are correct.
Well,
Wait, you guys have Skyfall? Wait, that's not.
It's a different Skyfall. Our Skyfall actually changed her name to Astral Sky because she's trying to distance herself from Skyfall.
Oh, that's good. So what happened?
Okay.
Why TK does his calculations in the back end, and we kind of did some filler stuff. I feel like he's over there. He pulled out his calculator and he like pushed up his glasses and he's like punching numbers right now. So what happened is I recently did some website cleaning, and I accidentally / on purpose removed an old temp, and this will be my second shout out to someone that's not even watching. D-Man, everyone just like ping D-Man in general chat at DMAN, and just tell him it's his fault for breaking the website. Because when I removed him from the website, it for some reason deleted everything that he did whenever he was kind of like our intern. So all these like team sheets and stuff that were made got removed, and then Det's been trying to correct all that all evening. So that's currently what's going on our end and breaking the website, which means in the end it's my fault for touching the rosters. Like, don't ping me to fix the rosters. I break them.
Like Det says, Steve is not allowed to touch the rosters.
Insomnia just said it's always my fault, and they said this. They said don't touch the website, Steve.
Yeah, because there's 4 players on our roster on the site, and only one of them is accurate.
Yeah, that's good. D-Man did it.
All right,
cool.
TK, what
calculations?
So, I think it's going to be a really close series. I think it's going to go to final map, but I think Illusions pulls it out too. Simply based on the fact that Dirt has already forfeited to them once, and if Dirt doesn't come out swinging, I think Illusions is going to take them, because as we said before, Illusions had a very tough schedule, and the matches that they could have won, they had to forfeit.
All right, well, I copied Pasta, moved them over.
Thank you for having some common sense and picking Illusions.
We have Ragnarok and Messengers.
I honestly don't think
gotta talk about that.
I honestly don't think it's going to be close on either one. I think it's going to be Ragnarok and Messengers in the finals again. Or not again, but in the finals this time.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It can't, because the way it moves, it's moving directly over. So Ragnarok will play Messengers in the semifinals.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying in the semis, it's not even going to be close.
You think Ragnarok takes it?
I think Ragnarok takes it, and I think that Eerie takes it as well. As much as I'm sorry, I would be rooting for Messengers. I just think, given their map differential and how they've performed this stage, I don't think it's going to be close.
Fine, we're all allowed to make mistakes.
You can't.
If you watch the game with Eerie,
that's actually unfair to me, because I already moved the Ragnarok over, so I'm gonna unhide that because we didn't. So TK is saying Ragnarok. Nickel, what's your pick?
I'm giving it to Ragnarok. I'm sorry, Augustus.
There's just an obvious winner here.
It's fine. It's fine.
Don't get me wrong. I am hoping with all my heart that Messengers gets that upset, but I've got to give it to Ragnarok.
Oh, well, okay, thanks, Nicole.
Go on. Y'all got
I'm giving it to Ragnarok, but I'm hoping for the upset just because everybody loves an upset, except the people who get upset.
Except for a team named Messengers is not going to beat Ragnarok.
Well, this is good. This is nice.
That's fine.
So
we'll give you a couple weeks.
So we're gonna say the Ragnarok move on, right? I think, because that's 3 votes already, so that trumps anything that we have to say. But let's look at Eerie Illusion. I think TK said Eerie. I'm gonna say Eerie takes it. Ferdy. It seems like it's gonna be Eerie for this one. But
like when we said that it was never not gonna be Ragnarok and Eerie at number 1 and 2, I think that stays the same through the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like.
So we're saying
I honestly don't.
We're gonna move this, and we're gonna put them up together. So Ragnarok is gonna play Eerie, and we're gonna kind of move this bottom bracket to what is gonna be now the play-in. third place team. That'll be the match that we're gonna talk about first. So that's gonna be Messengers and Illusion. I think Messengers takes it.
I do too.
I give that to
I
Messengers.
don't even know anything about Messengers.
Well,
you know that Augustus is a janitor.
Yeah, he's the janitor. So
I know Augustus is on it, so they're already a garbage team in my books.
oh,
Jokes on you. I'm not even allowed to play.
yeah, he was in the beginning. He didn't get good fast enough.
Yeah.
So they...
But what is your average rank?
I think we're around 3-9 right now.
Oh, they just take that.
Okay. Hey, we're all allowed to be wrong about something.
Yeah, I think aside from Ferdy, we're all on the. I think that Messengers goes for the third placer.
Yep.
Boom! I'm
That's
making
a
them super big.
4.1 team.
Okay.
Yeah,
Once
There's
again,
a
as we've said
skill gap.
multiple times, SR does not
Okay,
mean
man.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve,
All
here
right,
we
man.
go.
Maybe for you goldies it doesn't, but there's huge skill gaps up there.
All right, man.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. So,
Even if that's true, we shouldn't put too much stock in that when we're talking about this. I don't think we should.
Whenever I'm making predictions, that's what I go off of.
yeah, but
Moving
this,
on.
This moves us to, I don't know, TK, if you want to kind of take it as far into our last match. No,
What?
He died.
What?
You want
What?
to talk about what our portrayed final is, which would be Ragnarok and Eerie, and
So I think I would think that this match comes solely down to how this week's match goes. So
I'm gonna have to disagree with that. So
It's
do we think that the winner of this week will take it all? Is basically what it comes down to, or is another team going to be able to adapt and learn from the loss this week?
I think that's what's gonna happen.
See, what's going to be interesting is I don't remember like going back into the preliminary rounds of the World Cup qualifying, before what the Blizzard, what is it, BlizzCon, right?
uh-huh.
Teams weren't even playing compositions in the beginning. And I don't know, maybe we can ask Ferdy since he's one of, the kind of the team leader of the Ragnarok. But going into tomorrow's game, being that both of y'all are already set in the 1 and 2 spot, would you be willing to give up strategies that could potentially be studied and conquered in the final round?
Wait, do you people use strategies?
That's what I'm kind of thinking about here, because nobody really, I doubt anybody Premier really understands the Ragnarok strat entirely. There's some teams below us that do, but I think it's like I still don't entirely understand it, even though I made it. There's some plot holes in it that I'm kind of questioning about, like, if you run this, can you counter it? If you do this, can you counter it? All this fun stuff. And we've seen it tried by different teams in scrims, and they've lost still. But
Yeah,
I think if a good team is able to pull it off
sometimes
properly,
they were successful countering you, but other times they weren't.
yeah, I think.
But
I think though.
do you go all in and show everything?
I think
tomorrow
Ragnarok is a
week?
good enough team that we can beat them without running our main strat, and I think that's what we're gonna do.
That's what I guess what my question was.
So you're gonna beat them without running your main strat, and then come playoffs, it's all in.
It's all in.
Gotcha.
So that only furthers what I was saying before. I think that if Ragnarok takes this win this week, even playing strats that not their main, that they get to come into playoffs fully refreshed. They had a bye week. They just came off of a win versus Messengers. I think that they come in and get their strats in order and beat Illusion, or not Illusions, Eerie. Sorry.
Eerie.
Yeah, almost what you're saying is like kind of surprise them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I can go with that one. I can
And
get that.
the same thing comes through with Erie. I think if Erie gets the match win this week, not show like we can't speak for Erie because we don't have anybody here, but I can assume that they're thinking along the same lines. And I definitely think that if either team shows any kind of strat in this upcoming week, that it's just going to get analyzed and countered come playoff.
Yeah, I don't know how that's what Erie's thinking, but like in my position that I'm in, we've scrimmed them before, we've beaten them. I know in the back of their mind they're thinking that too. And I think overall we have just a moral high ground. So I'm thinking Erie might pull out the main strats because they're too scared to do otherwise.
Yeah, like I agree with what Freddie's saying. I think Erie goes all in for this match, and they're going for first place in seasonal play.
I think they kind of realize as well that if they win this one, they've won overall. Because like you playoffs, they matter, but I think this upcoming match is really a big thing for overall. Like maybe they win this one, they lose the next one, but I think this first match is always very good because whenever you play a team twice, there's so many different factors that come into that could just completely change the game, and it's more of the initial fight that really counts in my head. And I'm gonna ask you real quick, Augustus, what do you know anything about Ragnarok, like our strategy? Because honestly, I have no idea who knows what at this point.
Yeah. You guys like to go 2-2-2?
Is that all you
Killed
know?
it.
I
All right,
like
while
it.
y'all talk it out, I'm gonna reset the board for championship.
All right. Do you know anything? That's this.
I don't know what I would tell you.
Okay, well, if you don't know, then you don't know. Cool. Alright, let's look at this board. We got Hanamura Hellhounds versus Missouri Valley. Hanamura wins that. Kraken versus Solstice.
This guy's already going in like nah, this is what's happening there.
Solstice wins the Undreleman, beats Hanamura. Johnny beats Winter. Johnny beats Undreleman. Easy.
Now for Hanamura versus Missouri, he's right. I'll give it to Hanamura every time. I can go with
The
that
real
one.
question is, with one team in Hanamura and the other team all the way in Missouri, which server are they going to play on?
God damn. Oh, you're worse than my
Goofer.
team captain with the plan.
I like it.
So I don't remember if it was Klum or someone was kind of making the comment during it, and they were talking about the Hanamura Hellhounds losing on Hanamura and how upsetting it was.
Yeah, they should get like a damage boost or something.
Like that's your home map. You can't lose that map.
1 second of health every 10 seconds regeneration.
I just feel like Hanzo should get like some kind of special benefit to playing on Hanamura.
Or Genji.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think we can.
Nah, Genji's too. Nah, I don't care about Genji.
There should become. Actually, it's useless. Never mind.
What was that, TK?
I want type advantages like in Pokemon.
Missouri. I think we go ahead and move tactical tilting or reload above Missouri Valley.
Yeah, which
I definitely don't think that Missouri wins.
I don't think it matters
You
because
think
Hanamura is gonna
goes?
beat whoever goes there.
Yeah, I think I can agree there.
I can agree with that one as well.
Well,
Whoever
it has
gets
big
up into
implications for if what you're saying and tactical kind of moves here, and Missouri Valley moves out, right? That has implications for what is it, for the relegation playoffs, which is the top 4 teams now.
Right.
That's where it matters. But let's say, so like I agree. Let's I don't know. I don't mind running either way. I'm with you. I think tactical takes this. let's go. If we go back to
what we were talking about earlier, but I mean, I still think Hanamura takes out whoever gets into 6.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I
what I'm
agree.
saying.
But if
I
we go
don't-
back
I don't
to
think it
the
matters.
championship matches, Tactical's playing Veet. I think Tactical takes it right there.
Mm-hmm. We think Missouri gets 4-0'd by Hanamura there.
I
Yeah.
think that the 3-6 Hanamura tactical match, I think it's going to be close, either 3-1 or 3-2, but I where it takes it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically how I'm thinking. It'll be close and it'll be good to watch, but Hanamura will still take it. I have no doubt about that.
All I get on my end is clickety clickety click from Modestus.
Yeah.
So,
We're hearing clackety clack.
All right.
yeah, man, I'm doing Lucio. Here we go.
Wait, is that how you play Lucio? Let's copy.
I play Lucio by just slamming the keyboard as hard as possible. The harder you hit it, the higher you jump.
Just smash your face against it. Anyway,
Basically. I actually play Lucio with a treadmill.
so then we have the Zonka against Winter Solstice match.
I think
And
that pretty much stays as is.
Yeah, no, I
Mhm.
think it does as well. I'm just so Kraken's against Solstice right here. I don't think that
It's hard for me. I think Winter Solstice coming off of this huge UGC season, and now it being off season, kind of in the UGC, and they're able to focus all of their resources on this.
right.
Kraken's even being my team. I still think Winter kind of comes through, in even this next week.
Yeah, I can agree with that reasoning.
How did they do in UGC?
I was gonna say, I believe they finished second or third
Yeah, I can,
for the
I can definitely
intermediate,
see it.
which is why
can
it's a team I feel that is deserving to get that promotion into the Premier, because I know that they can compete at a very high level, and for some reason,
Well, they also just got brand just got a premier team as
Yeah.
well. And I don't think they want 2 teams in premier. I don't think.
for which
I think the way that premier and championship are kind of set up is kind of bad right now, because if
what Winter Solstice team is
Premier,
in Premier?
they just created a 4.2K team. It's not in premier,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
assume it's going to be there.
Um,
But like,
that wouldn't kind of really be any implication of what's going on here.
yeah, no. I'm just ranting.
That is assuming, however, that Solstice beats Johnny's Dream Team.
Mm-hmm.
Solstice isn't gonna be John's Dream Team, but
Yeah, I don't
you
think
also at the same time, if Solstice makes it to round 2, Solstice and Hanamura fight it out for moving up, right?
Well, no, that would be if Ungentleman beat Hanamura.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna side with Hanamura.
That'll be a very close match, no matter
That'll
who
be
it goes to.
Yeah.
They
I-
haven't played.
That will go to a tiebreaker.
So Hanamura has not played the Hellhounds this season, and they will not. Hanamura has managed to take a map off Johnny's Dream Team. Dream Team, was able to upset Ungentleman. I think Hanamura has a chance of taking that.
From
Absolutely.
what
I mean,
I've
it's
seen
it's
of
going to come down
Hanamura-
to which maps are being played too.
If it's Hanamura, Ungentleman just loses, but
From what I've seen of Hanamura, they're a very strong team. They're a very dominant team, and I definitely think
They
that
are.
they can, if they come out swinging, they can definitely beat Ungentleman.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna be
think it's
close.
going to go to a tiebreaker. I think it will definitely go to a tiebreaker, but I'm giving it to Hanamura.
I don't think it'll go to a tiebreaker. A lot of, especially at the Diamond Masters rank, teams in general are very one-sided to what they're strong at.
But You need to be a little
Like
more
if-
developed, and what you're saying is yes, true, but Hellhounds are entirely adaptable because I've watched a lot of their games. They can play so many comps at such a high level, and by high I mean like over 1,000 SR above them. They can compete at that level and beat teams.
Having played against UGA twice and watched several of Hanamura's matches, it's going to be close.
I think
it's still
UGA
tough.
wins. I think that's a roll. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah.
I've seen Hanamura play. They have mechanical skill, but something's missing there. I think it's team play. I watched the Hanamura map where they lost. Actually, that's the one I watched. There was something missing there, and it wasn't just like a bad map. It was just like team wasn't all together. Mechanics weren't prime. I don't think they can beat a team like UGA when they are constantly scrimming against 3.7 4K teams, and they have the experience there, especially knowing how to team play, and just the fact that UGA probably has better mechanics in general. I think that UGA, even if small, has the advantage here
Yeah, you
in
think
both
they take
team
it.
play and mechanics.
Well, the good news is 3 beats 2, and Hanamura goes through.
3 beats 2, much like the score is going to be in
And,
Hanamura's favor.
and this is why, like, as I rearrange this, it would be a Hanamura Dream Team. At that point, I think Dream Team takes it. It's going to be hard for me. Like, I don't see Dream Team not making it into.
Yeah, I don't
the
either.
Premier. But the reason I also pick Hanamura is this other. I mean, even call it like a fetish of mine. I love the Ungentleman, the Winter match. To me, these two teams, because they've been around for a very long time, are one of the biggest rivalries in like this amateur Overwatch scene. They play each other a lot. I'm sure they probably scrim a lot, and I every time they play, I love to watch this matchup.
Just salivating over it right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just a guilty pleasure of mine, for sure.
Oh, it's like Lindsay Lohan. Jesus.
What?
Lindsay Lohan. It's a guilty pleasure for a lot of people.
All right.
I only say it because I hate Lindsay Lohan, and I don't see how people can like Lindsay Lohan without
How does any
feeling
of this
bad about
I
it.
think we're getting off topic. Yeah.
So Lindsay Lohan takes a solid third place.
No,
I
between
think
them though,
UGA
between them, I give it to Ungentleman for third place.
I think UGA has the edge over Hanamura.
Yeah.
What do you mean over Winter?
No, over
I-
Hanamura.
I think
Think about it.
Hanamura doesn't go to Premier and they're stuck in a championship.
But beats 2.
Yeah, 3 beats 2.
It's hard to say between Solstice and UGA, just how many times they played and how differently it's gone.
I think I'll give it to UGA. I think I would to get third.
Hey, all I know is I'm higher than all of you in the map picks, so.
I think it's
So-
gonna come. I think it's
I
gonna
don't-
come down to.
I don't pick.
'Cause
Neither
team
do I.
points.
I think it'll come down to
Literally,
which match
the
we play.
only time I've ever picked was right now when we were going through and voting. That's the only time I've ever picked. And even then, I only actually voted 3 times. And once was for my own team.
So, Ungentleman versus Solstice.
That's what I think.
Who takes this?
I think
Hanamura.
Ungentleman.
Ungentleman versus Solstice.
Mhm.
I think UGA is more aggressive. Which
I think if any team could entirely upset this entire thing, is going to be Solstice.
Yeah, they're actually a team I'm scared. Like I could actually see them, though. I want to see the Ungentleman Solstice, which honestly, you know how we have it now. I could see it even sweep to where it's Hanamura and Dream Team playing for that third place, you know, promotion, and it's Ungentleman Solstice playing for the 1 and 2.
Mhm.
So now you think Hanamura is just not going to take
No, I just
against
feel like
them
that
then?
these four matches,
Just because
these two matches are going to be what the two matches are in the end. I don't know if they're going to be 1, 2, and 3, and 4, which way that's going, but I can guarantee that these are going to be the 4.
I can agree with that.
if you were to pick one of these teams that does not make it, who would it be?
What do you mean that doesn't get the promotion?
Yeah.
I think that if Dream Team and Hanamura are the 3, like the play for third in, I think Hanamura will end up sitting and playing another round in the championship, and Dream Team will move on. However, between Ungentleman and Solstice, I believe that if it's the third place match, Ungentleman wins. But I believe if it's the first, second place match, Solstice wins because they'll be riding off of a huge train coming, sitting at 4th or 5th seed, beating the 2nd seed, and they're ready to take it.
I can see that.
I don't know. I think both UGA and Solstice could beat Hanamura.
I think Hanamura is staying in championship.
I feel like all 3 of these teams can all probably beat each other in the end. Or all 4 of these teams, I mean. I believe they could all actually beat each other, but I do think that, personally, I do think that Johnny's Dream Team is probably still just the best one out of them. I do.
Like, I don't think Hanamura can beat any of these teams. I still stand behind that. It's like one map of Johnny's Dream Team. And that's what you're all going off of.
That's not at all what I'm going off of.
Well, I actually watched the match, and the other ones were there were a few close matches. Just kind of like Messengers and Erie.
God. Any other day, some of those coins had fallen differently.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I mean, I also have to think some teams may not be playing to their full potential because they don't care enough to try.
Yeah.
You can't account for stuff like that, though.
Yeah, it's hard to account for that.
So, final decision.
Who wins it all? Who takes first?
My final decision, winning it all is Dream Team. That's my final.
I think the safe pick Dream Team. Second bet would be Solstice, though. If any upset was to happen, it'd be Solstice.
I think Ungentleman takes it all.
Well, that's where you're wrong, Bucko.
We can disagree about it all day, but
look at that, easy.
I don't know, with UGA and Solstice, I feel like it's going to come down to whether their DPS get value or not.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just get GM and just get there easily.
I don't know. Advanced spec is, I don't know. I'm not going to talk strats. Yeah, I don't know. I think Johnny for sure is going to be, because the top 3 are being promoted, yeah?
You're giving Insomniac a giant girl boner. Because you said Ungentleman's gonna win.
Look, I was going on about how Hounds, and then I switched it at the end.
I think Johnny's for sure getting promoted. I think UGA is the second safest.
And apparently,
Solstice.
by the way, my mic is only
Is
apparently
it top
coming in the
3 or
left ear.
top 2?
Top 3. I believe top 3 get promoted.
Top 3, bottom 3. Yeah.
So bottom 3 go down as well.
Which is a whole nother. I don't know. When we get in the more of the playoffs, and that's definitely something we're gonna bring in next week. Is my favorite part of this thing I've created is the relegation playoffs. Promotion, that's fun. I'm sorry, I'm gonna still be biased. My favorite part for sure is the 4 teams playing in games that are literally, if you win, you can stay in the division. If you lose, you're dropping.
Bye-bye.
That's when Hanamura drops down to OCC 1.
Oh.
Nah, Hanamura deserves to be a championship. They won't drop.
Yeah, they won't.
But,
yeah.
I mean, they literally can't this stage, but I mean, like, they do deserve to be where they are right now.
Like, you haven't even talked about the fact that Tactical could upset, because you heard Tactical put up a very good fight before.
Yeah, I never said they couldn't upset.
I didn't. Yeah, I think they
No,
can. I
I'm
just
saying we're not even talking about the fact it's there.
because we agreed that Hanamura would take it. Well,
yeah,
we
for
agree.
the
You didn't.
regulation.
But upset aside, Tactical still sits in 9th, and they can't move up. Or sorry, the Titans.
Yeah.
I'm resetting the board for the next shit talking,
Next shit talking.
which is DreamWorks. Blink. Oh gosh, here you go. Fatal, the Leviathans, and is it Elevate? Boku.
This one's pretty easy.
This is tough because 2 teams have dropped, so there's only going to be, technically 1 team relegated. So whoever's sitting in 7th and 8th is going to play 1 match, and it's going to be first to 4 wins, and the loser of that will be relegated to OCC 2. That being said, any team at this point, I believe, can actually make it to 6th.
I think Boku gets dropped.
I think your team gets dropped.
Joke's on you, they're not even my team anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I think OG's got Boku pretty.
What do you got,
Pretty
TK?
easily.
I just this is such a hard bracket to decide because like any of these spots can be changed, except I think for the number ones, like the winner of the winner of Blink Strike versus DreamWorks will sit at the number 1 spot and they will stay in that number 1 spot. But the two through 6 is completely fluid. Like we have no clue who's going to be where. So it's definitely an interesting spot. But as it is now, I'm biased, of course. I'm gonna take OG over Boku.
I'm biased, of course. I'm gonna go against my own.
I'm gonna follow it.
I'd go with
if this changes. If it does change, I think Boku has a chance against the other 2 teams, but I don't think they're going to beat OG.
I just like because if
I would love for OG to win and then get pounded by DreamWorks. That would make my day.
I would love for DreamWorks to get to the finals and then be absolutely demolished by copyright claim from the actual DreamWorks for their logo.
Oh, my wife actually like she looked at it and she was like, "Wait, can they actually do that?"
I mean, as long as they're not making money off it, I guess. As long as it's more complicated than that. As long as they're not making money off it and they're not harming the actual DreamWorks name.
Yeah.
So as long as they keep performing well, I guess.
And as long as they're not, making movies and TV shows. As long as they're not doing that, I think they're fine.
Want me to do these streams count as new media?
Oh, we're promoting
they're
them.
not.
I've had to get into film and video litigation before. It's fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, it's
I'm actually taking
absolutely
a class
awesome.
on that right now.
Copyright strike. Here we go.
All right, so Fatality versus Leviathans. Having just faced Leviathans, I think I take Leviathans here. They're a very strong team, and as we said before, their DPS can carry.
I guess I'm gonna be biased because half of Leviathans was at one point my coach, and they will kill me. I'm going with Leviathans.
I haven't seen enough of Fatality, but I know that we're gonna stomp them next week. So,
looking at the schedules, yeah, I think Leviathans have had a rougher schedule and done better than
Fatality.
The non-Leviathans have. Yeah.
Non-Leviathans.
This is great. Who we got?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because Fatality's only real win was over Boku, and it was close, and then the other one was a forfeit. Yeah.
What we got here? Oh gosh, and DreamWorks.
DreamWorks, man.
Sorry,
this
sorry,
is fun.
TK.
We're literally just shitting on other teams right
now. It's one of those situations where DreamWorks just kind of clearly deserves to be above this rank, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why mainly why I'm going with DreamWorks.
It's the way it was with Hanamura when they were in this division last stage, which is kind of like, all right, they deserve to be at a different level.
We're all kind of going with DreamWorks, right?
Yeah.
I'm biased. I have to pick OG, but I know that. I
4
know
against
we got-
1.
I
we
know what it
understand.
sits at. I know what it sits at.
I was gonna
Hey,
vote
take
for
take
Josh.
take a map off them though, and that's a statement.
We're gonna take 2 maps, if not
Ooh, if
three.
not all
Oh,
of
oh,
them.
oh yeah.
not all of them.
How about 5?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, time out.
Wait.
So, Blink Strike versus Leviathans.
I'm looking at their schedule. Honestly, I think Leviathans could take it.
I'm going
They could.
Leviathans.
I think they can.
Blink Strike lost to Tactical Tilting.
I think
I'm
like
saying,
Leviathans just added in a new tank, and I think that the Calajoncito kid is just an incredible player, and he's just kind of meshed with him so well.
He is, especially because you got to remember he was on the dev team before
Look at
joining them. So he was like literally he was just building up synergy with the coaches that he is now playing with every day.
Looking at where Blink Strike's wins came from and what the actual map score was, I really do think Leviathans have a really strong chance there.
I think it comes solely down to their DPS, as we said before. They can come in cold or they can come in hot, and they have to come in hot if they want
Yeah,
to
you
get.
really need Cobalt and Whip to kind of step up.
That being said, I think it's going to be a 3-1 Leviathans.
Throwing down
Yeah,
the
they'll give him a
score
map.
there. I like that. To even
And
throw
then
down the
and then DreamWorks, like
And then I am sorry, but I think DreamWorks takes it against Leviathans.
I think OG versus Blink Strike could be close though.
I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah. Then, like at this point, we wouldn't even give a shit. We don't care about who's 1 and 2. We only care about who's actually going to be in the promotion game. This would be the Ogage,
I mean, it went to a tiebreaker map
and it'd be the Blink
last time
Strike.
they played.
Ooh, TK, y'all played?
Us
gonna
and
go-
Blink Strike? I don't believe so. No.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I saw Leviathans. Never mind. I'm an idiot.
We haven't played Blink Strike yet,
Yeah.
but we are going to be scouting them this week, and we have a practice allotted for that. I definitely think that the way our team has been playing recently, and yes, last week's record doesn't show that, but the way our team has been playing in our synergy, we can definitely take on some of the better teams in this division.
Honestly, I think you beat them.
that.
Looking at the map records over the weeks, I think you beat them.
Like,
Especially if you actually scout, which I think a lot of people at that level aren't really doing.
the past 2 of our matches, the past 2 of our losses have gone to map 5s, and like we've said before, on a different day that coin flips another way.
Yeah.
So
I think if you do that against
we
Leviathan,
can take that over a Blink Strike, I think.
it's not a definite, but I think I think you have the edge.
I think it's a possibility. Yeah. I don't think it's 100% definite which one of you is going to win, but I think it is possible for Ogosh to take 3rd place. I could see it.
I moved them and made them really big, just because I can.
Story of my life.
Oh, God.
Fuck yeah, pal.
Wait,
This is
wait,
not fucking way.
wait,
The entire bracket's exploded.
wait. Why
Oh,
did a Diva
gosh.
Bomb go off in the middle of my bracket? What the fuck? Why?
Oh gosh.
Calm
Alright.
down now.
Give me more fresh meat. I want to shit on some other kids. Next bracket, let's go.
I'm building
God.
up.
Oh wait, who
Was
wins?
this the easiest bracket? This might have been the easiest bracket.
Who wins the relegation match?
Ooh.
Oh wait,
Oh,
no,
like the bottom?
we're gonna go
I
over
think
that
that's
tomorrow.
That's
next
a next
time.
week thing because we really
Yeah,
like it's
next
hard
week.
to talk about until we actually have people.
Right.
All right, I refreshed it. Okay, this one is the complicated one that we are still building, and I'm gonna have to move around some numbers. Right, that's how we had it. And I'm gonna hide the numbers because I don't think the numbers even mean anything in this. Minus number 1. All that matters is really the 1 seed.
Man, I'm seeing a lot of stuff I don't recognize.
Oh,
So you got Elementals, then Thunder Gems, then Banshees, Academy, and then Fenrir.
I'm gonna drop
we only got
the
5 teams
so
down
the
there?
OCC2 current standings. I'm gonna kind of like pull. You'll still see the emblems because I'm really bad at this. You'll see the Elementals are sitting at first with the Thunder Gems, right? Like these are 2 close matchups. What were the matches this week?
I have it right here.
Zonk Fenrir versus Thunder Gems, Banshees versus Reload, Elementals versus Bye Week.
That's why it was. So the Elementals are already going to go up 4-1 with a 5-map differential. And that's what we were talking about earlier is the Thunder Gems need 3 maps in order to take first. Because the way this is kind of turning out with only 5 teams in this division, only the number 1 seed, I believe, right, is getting a bye? Is that how it was?
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Oh.
And then in doing so, I think I have them backwards actually, because the 3 and 4 would be playing down here. It's almost like a plan. Oh, hey, Clem.
You guys are still podcasting?
Oh, we're still going.
Still going.
Sadly.
Oh.
Oh, wait,
It'll be a while.
We're entertaining a massive audience.
So
I am so sorry.
I need sleep.
there are like 4 people.
What was that, Ferd?
I need sleep.
Oh, Chris
What?
EXD did a lull.
Oh.
Nice, classic. That's what it was. So the lower seed would go on to play, the 1, and the higher seed would kind of go through. I still don't even understand how this works.
Bible thump, Bible thump.
Makes no sense.
Hmm.
Someone go
Yeah,
through.
because then what do you do with...
We talked about it earlier, but I don't remember.
Still need to hash it out, though. It's a problem.
It might be better to just give a... Well...
So I think what happens here is we give Elementals a 2-week bye. Or we do it all in 1 week and we have Gems play Fenrir and then Zonk play Reload and then the winner of those 2 play together and then the winner of that plays Elementals.
I think it makes sense
what we
that
talked
3rd
about
place gets a bye.
Is the lower seed would go through. I think that's what we were talking about.
The lower seed would go through?
Well, the lower seed would play in the other match.
Like, unless we were just having, like, are you saying 5-1, 4-2, 3?
I think automatically putting the lower seed through to semis doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, I was saying the lower seed would go down here and play the higher seed of the winner. But we're still only at 3. I agree. I think I made this incorrectly. And the Elementals, if they finish first, they're already in the final. And these guys play, the playoff into the final between them.
Yeah. I think that would be the best way to do it. Because they... Like, that kind of actually, it would work. Because then, whoever wins Fenrir versus Thunder plays whoever wins Banshees versus Reload, and then whoever wins between them is in the championship with Elementals. And we could do the first round. We could do the first and second round in 1 week.
Yeah.
Then they're not getting a 2-week bye. They're not getting 2 weeks of relaxing.
Say
Right.
what?
Makes it a little bit more fair.
Oh, sorry. Hi.
Oh, Clum's gonna come in and interrupt us real quick. As we're definitely not figuring out how the playoffs are gonna go about at this instant. We definitely had this plan beforehand.
No, yeah, totally. Steve is a meticulous
I'm
and very
so
hard.
good at this.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No,
Small indie company.
no, he's figuring things out as it goes along. Mostly because with OCC, at least for my also hi, I'm Clumbert.
Hi, Clumbert.
I write the media day shit, so that's gonna go out in
Oh.
like a few minutes. So
Oh, excellent.
If we ever finish this this podcast,
With a link
Yeah.
to this stream.
our 14-hour podcast.
I just wanted to say that with podcasts, something that I think is interesting is maybe having the audience be able to answer or ask their own questions. So maybe something you guys can do with whoever's watching or for the next time is maybe a segment where whoever you have on as guests, you take questions from Twitch chat, 1, 2, or 3 of them, and talk about that for X amount of time.
Just
So
gotta
it's like
follow
if you have
TOS.
What if we have them pay $25 for a
$25.
season-long all-access pass? And if they do that,
I like
they can
that.
go into a separate chat to ask questions for the podcast.
And then on top of it, they can view what we're currently looking at individually.
okay.
If they go through my point of view, it's just going to be
Stop.
my cat.
Really good marketing. I'm from PR. You don't need to make him pay for shit. Just give it to him.
Oh.
Okay? Look. I'm telling you.
I've always wanted to go to Puerto Rico.
And we are getting sidetracked.
So
So I think you guys should do that. Also, quick plug, guys. Read Media Day. Submit your clips. I promise. I'll look at all of them and trash about 90% of them because I can only put 4 on there. But submit your clips. And also, if you've got questions for Steve or anyone from OCC, Zonk, or any of our special guests on this, I guess, Onomatopoeia podcast, for the next time, just have them in chat, tell your friends.
Yo,
Be like, Steve, what's your favorite color? When's your birthday? His birthday's yesterday, by the way.
Oh,
Happy birthday!
Wow.
So yeah, happy birthday to our CEO and founder. I've
That's a
transitioned
band.
perfectly.
CEO and founder.
that's a
Media
band.
Day. Coming
Clumber
out
band.
in 20 minutes. Bye.
Real. Oh well, there he goes. Real quick. Motion to call this the Onomatopodcast.
Ooh, Onomatopodcast. That's pretty.
Ooh, I like
pretty
that.
good. Clum was
All
trying
right.
to workshop some ideas earlier, and I told him to workshop them. And I think Augustus just killed it.
That's it.
The way with words.
Just like literally, it's my job.
And here
so-
we are. We just witnessed the banning of Clumber.
Clumbert got the
band
outta
hammer.
here.
So Fenrir Gems.
Gems, baby.
I'm so
But-
sorry. Can I ask about Hanamura Hellhounds versus Missouri Valley? I know you guys talked about this, but
Oh,
Oh, Missouri takes it. Easy.
So if if Hanamura
Go
4-0s Missouri Valley, what happens?
Hanamura wins.
Then Missouri Valley moves out of top 6, and tactical tilting, we believe, is going to move into top 6.
So tactical tilting. I'm a professional journalist, so I'm not writing this down. Tactical tilting moves into
You're
top
not. You're
6.
typing it out. We can hear it.
Professional journalists just keep all that shit up in their head.
But
Moves into top
What?
6.
You were saying.
And Missouri Valley gets kicked out of top 6 to relegation.
Yes, they
right?
moved down. They
Yeah.
moved down to 8 into relegation. Yet.
as I was saying, I
Sorry, I
think
didn't realize you're in here.
I think
Okay.
that well, however, but you can do it in 1 week, just like on Monday or something. Do the first round, freaking Tuesday or Thursday, something. Do second round next week. Do finals. But I am biased to want to go with Fenrir. I really am. I really, really want to say that we're gonna win that. I really, really want to say it, but I can't.
Just say it. Bias is
can't.
perfectly valid, even
I
in
can't.
journalism. Look at op-ed pieces. No one cares about the facts anymore. Look at our
Like-
president. Say
I
what you
wanna-
feel.
I'm gonna sit here and say that we will, but in my head, even with the addition of me, which helps with the fatigue, having a DPS sub, making the 2 DPS players they have not be as fatigued as they would have been, which helps. But I still
yeah,
think
I
Gems will
think
take
Thunder
it.
Gems takes it. I'm moving them over.
Mhm.
Go Gems.
So
Oh, you
Zonk
guys are-
versus Reload.
Which I think Banshee's
Which is
got
going to
it.
be another rematch. Oh, no. Wait, no. The Elements was the rematch. Did they play each other at the Zonk and the
All right,
Elements?
bye guys. I'm gonna move now. Bye.
Get out of here, Clumbert.
I love you,
I'm not
Plum.
positive they've.
Like I said,
Actually-
They play the 3rd
I'm just real confused.
next week, next Tuesday. So that's gonna be interesting.
I don't think that Reload fixes their roster in time, and I'm moving them over now. But I think the Banshees take that.
I do
Easy.
too.
And
Junior Reload is
I-
the only ones to beat the Elementals, though.
Yeah, well, they also had a Masters, a Masters ringer.
So this is
Wait.
BC Jamie, by the way, and I'd like to let him introduce himself. Go ahead, please.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
how's
it's
it
me,
going?
BC Jamie.
Okay.
I'm team
Wait,
captain of the
so-
Elementals.
Wait, so that's why the 4 because I was looking at it, I was just like, how the hell did this happen? They brought in a Masters ringer?
Yeah, so they didn't have enough players. They didn't have enough players to start the game. 10 minutes had passed, and they were like, "Oh, we just found a ringer. We just found a ringer." And we were like, well, okay. Like, I don't want them to have to forfeit the game. Let's bring somebody in." He comes in and he's fucking Masters.
Yo, that's like when America joined World War II. Oh shit!
Wait.
And then I called him out on it after, and I was just like, "Hey, next time you guys get a ringer, like the other team's probably not going to be as nice as we were, and just let you play a Masters."
After 10 minutes,
player?
technically, isn't it? Now, after 10 minutes, it's
Yeah,
too late.
yeah, we should have made him forfeit, but I was trying to be a nice guy and not make him forfeit, and that's what happened. So
That's what
lesson
you get.
learned.
That's what you get for being nice.
Yep, lesson learned.
Oh yeah, so no, Junior Reload is they're done. No, screw it. No, disqualified.
Disqualified.
Banhammer.
Yeah, Zonk beats those guys.
I think regardless, I think they would.
I think Gems beat Zonk though.
Yeah.
They just beat him like yesterday,
Zonk
didn't they?
still don't have a
I haven't seen a single one of these
main
teams.
tank right now, do they? They still haven't
No.
found a replacement yet.
Well,
I
'cause
didn't think so.
We
They have
moved,
Night Night Boombox
we
still.
moved Night Night over, but Night Night's currently on leave because he's trying to find
Aw.
a job. So they're still tankless.
I love
Which,
Night Night.
which is their only person they can have on there is Fuku. He's played tank for them before.
I'll do it.
Isn't Base Boosted still on their team?
No.
Oh, welcome,
Why not?
Cobalt.
Well, one, he never showed up. Two, he was also actually kind of pretty toxic. So
now
he's
he's on Valkyries, so
Hey, Cobalt.
Let's
yeah.
Did
You
he
have
get
to
listed
introduce
on?
yourself
Yeah.
Why?
Dude,
We're on a
Hi.
podcast.
because we're
Oh.
podcasting.
Hi, I'm Cobalt.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Podcast,
Oh
dude.
yeah, you're
So I
all
probably-
live on the podcast.
So I probably should watch my mouth then, or
Yeah.
I think
No.
Follow
I've-
TOS.
I think I've bombed a few times.
Everybody here plays Overwatch, and you're just like, maybe I should watch my language.
Wait, not that guy at the very beginning. What was that one guy at the
If
very
you-
beginning?
if
He
you
doesn't
can-
know.
If you can hold off on like throwing a couple racial slurs in there, like you're fine. You're below the
Please
average
don't.
level of Overwatch toxicity. Like you're fine. Don't worry
so
about
make
it.
sure we refer to the diving main tank as Winston.
God.
Okay. Got ya.
I
Hey,
never do that.
Hey, Cobalt.
Yes.
GG's yesterday.
Oh yeah, GG's.
Made me sad.
Why did I make you sad?
Because you popped off against
I want
us.
this as part of the
Oh,
podcast.
thank you.
What
Are
is
you happy,
that?
Zero? What color are your socks, and Steve?
I don't. Because he. No, I'm sorry. They asked a question.
He asked a
what's
question
your
to
favorite
Ferdy
color?
earlier, and I
And
think Ferdy
Ferd-
fell asleep on the
Okay,
computer.
and Ferd fell asleep for sure.
Yeah,
He's-
100%.
He is out.
Ferd is actually asleep.
At his desk right now. No way. No doubt about it.
Should one of us just like play that like high pitched ringing noise that will like
Please
piss
no.
anybody off and try to wake him up with that? Just like
let's
put it
not.
to
Let's
the-
not.
Yeah, let's not do
Anyway,
that one.
let's get back
Alright,
to
point
the
is,
Gems
what color are your
and
socks, Steve?
match.
Yeah,
so-
let's get back to this.
I wear when I do wear socks, which is very rare, because I'm generally I don't know maybe call it a
You're a
hipster
dad.
style. To where I wear because I sit at a desk all day, right? I do visual effects work, so I'm comfortable. So I wear like the jogger pants. And,
Yeah, story of my life.
And
He's Sigma.
they're incredibly comfortable, like Sigma for sure would know. But I wear shoes with no socks most of the time.
God, I could not do that.
But my socks, that I do have that are in my sock drawer, are black.
As I've gotten older, I've just learned to really hate having anything on my feet.
Yeah, I'm barefoot now. I'm pretty much barefoot all the time.
I've always had a problem with
Dang,
having anything on my feet.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
I wear sandals 80% of the time unless I'm playing basketball.
All right, so we're thinking the Zong's gonna beat the Gems. Is that what we're thinking, or Gems are gonna beat
No,
Zong?
it's-
We said Gems are gonna beat Zong.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
think-
I'm
Yeah.
putting Gems on songs.
I think Banshees beat them.
So that you think Banshees beat the Gems?
Yep.
Don't they not have a tank? Who didn't have a tank?
Well, they don't have a tank.
well,
But who knows?
Fuku can play-
Maybe I put myself on the roster for the.
I'm telling you.
I mean,
I'm not gonna be playing for the Messengers. Just put me on.
Yeah, like
we
come on.
actually played against Banshees when they didn't have a tank, and Fuku was tanking, and he's not bad.
He's not bad at all, but it's just
Let me do
Here.
it.
he's not bad at all. He doesn't do it all the time. So like his call outs as tank and his
All right,
synergy as tank just aren't there like it
so
should
to
be.
settle this completely unbiased, here is Malaya. I have no clue. How to say her
Okay.
name.
5 minutes.
Oh my god.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hey,
Oh,
Mom.
hi.
Welcome to the Onomatopodcast. How are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm fine. Hey, how are you?
Introduce yourself. What's your username? What's your
Yes, yeah.
username? What
Excellent.
team are you on?
Oh my god, I'm repeating my.
Social security number.
What,
Wait,
what
I
color?
have
What,
to mute the Twitch.
Here.
what color are your socks?
I'll let you fill the blanks in. Hi, my name is,
My name is Malalia.
Chickas.
Yeah.
and I play for.
I play off tank for benches.
There you go. Done.
Zonk benches.
What color are your socks? No.
I'm barefoot.
There we go.
Barefoot gang.
There we
Barefoot gang.
go.
Just
Join
like
the gang.
Sigma.
Toe gang.
Yuck. What?
We're all
gang.
barefoot.
The toe crew.
Toe gang.
gang.
I like it. Screw Gucci gang. It's toe gang.
Oh.
Is Onomatopodcast? Is that the official name? I like it.
That's what I'm calling it.
now.
I'm now the branding manager. Hi, how are you?
Well, there you go.
So, Mal, we're looking at the playoffs right now. And we're down to the OCC too. Oh, you were?
Right.
Okay.
A bit.
Well,
Oh,
what's
I'm
your
sorry.
opinion? Gems versus Banshees.
I'm sorry. You
completely
gotta sit
unbiased.
We lost already.
But
yeah,
no, you're
the
gonna play him
playoffs, yeah.
again.
But in the playoffs in about
When
2
is it? I
3
mean, if you
weeks.
have enough time, we can put it off.
You got 2-3 weeks.
Okay, because we have some tryouts to do for the main tank, and we'll see
If
how
you guys
it
need
goes.
if you guys need a ringer, I'm around. If you need a slightly below 3K main tank.
No, masters only ringers, please.
Masters only ringers. It's fair. Yo, I heard Yeedle's just like hanging out.
Sorry, what four teams again besides the Hellhounds?
Come us back.
Hey, Clumbert.
Lum.
I swear I took notes, but
No, we didn't. You
Oh
didn't
my
even.
god.
so it's tactical tilting,
Tactical
Missouri
tilting.
Valley,
Yeah.
Hanamura Hellhounds, and who
Yeah.
else?
Houston Outlaws.
Oh my god.
Johnny's dream
Uh,
team.
Clem was saying 10 people are watching, but we 9 in the casting room.
Oh, so JDT might move down. Okay, interesting.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, top there, bottom four. Sorry. It was,
Oh, you want the
Oh.
bottoms?
It was Ohio Warriors, Titans,
We-
Reload
we-
University, and
We had Missouri Valley. We
Valley.
think they're gonna move down.
If I knew you were looking for bottoms, I would have spoken up sooner.
Wait, wait.
God, I am this close from leaving this podcast.
It's
You
so
are like
late.
the only other viewer right now who's sticking it out.
But it's
You and him are
10
both
people.
this
so
close
it's
to
like, yeah.
leaving the podcast.
At this point, it's just like a test of will.
Listen, man, I'm just trying to
Oh.
get through this playoff. I think that gems go against the fucking elementals, and then
I think
they
elementals
lose.
win.
Yeah, I think
Ooh.
elementals.
I mean,
win.
Elemental
We're,
is the
we're still
strongest.
saying the Banshees lose. I was trying to give it to the Banshees.
I don't think anybody's gonna beat the elementals.
You guys are
I mean,
making me
Elementals are the
blush.
best.
Can't
I'm so
can't,
proud of my students.
can't possibly
I mean,
stop the elementals.
We don't even
We
have
don't-
players, so we can't really win.
We only got this good after Dev.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, you try to.
Nothing. I'm kidding.
You want to know what happens when you try to beat the elementals? So I can watch Captain Planet.
That's right.
What happens when you try to
I'm
beat
so
the
tired.
elementals is they go to what they are good at, and that's bunker, and they roll.
It happens.
It happens every
I
time.
mean- I mean, certain gems are not bad though.
What if the gems are also good at bunker?
Oh,
Then it's a bunker off. We have a dance off.
It's everybody's favorite thing to watch.
dance off to save the world.
Yeah.
Save the universe.
Yeah. We all know what the answer to the universe is.
A towel. Wait, no.
No.
More bunker.
Answer to the universe, life, and everything.
Thanks for the fish.
42. That is
So
the answer.
who wins elementals versus gems?
Okay.
I'm giving it to elementals.
I would say elementals, but it's a close one. I think.
It's
It will be
elementals.
close.
I would think elementals.
I think it'll be a 3-1 or a 3-2.
So
It'll be a 3-1 or a 3-2,
It'll
and
be
I think it'll
3-1,
go.
But it'll be really close, so that like the score won't show how close it is.
Right. Yeah.
This is kind of
Yeah,
nice,
that's what
like leeway into what Cobalt does for us. And, so the elementals and why I have them backed is they are actually one of our first development academy teams that was able to graduate from our development academy program, which is where we kind of like we take a group of 6, we throw matches to get to kind of the bronze, silver, elo, and from there we play with people, and we recruit them into what is our development academy, and we explain to them what it is, and I'll like kind of go about going into that, but and the elementals is the kind of the first thing from it, and as far as like if there was a Zonk baby, it would be the elementals. And
That's us.
And them starting from silver low gold players to now they're like competing at like a mid to high plat level is just, at least to me, phenomenal. And it just shows at least that whatever Cobalt's doing and that is working.
I didn't climb out of... I started at like 14 something and then placed at 12 something and climbed into gold after I joined the dev team. So, like, I don't care what people say about the dev team. It has been a great place, and I love it, and I wouldn't leave it for the world. I wouldn't change it unless I graduate, and then I kind of have to. But I love
you
the
get
dev
kicked
team,
out after that.
and I do like thank Cobalt for bringing me into it, because it has been the greatest thing to happen to me in this game and throughout most of my life, because I've met a lot of awesome people through the dev team, a lot of really good friends, and like I finally climbed out of bronze after joining dev team and got better and learned more about the game and all of that.
And I like to do say this: we do not like, and we're entirely against. We don't boost our players out of the elo that they're in. Like I play at a higher tier. Cobalt does too. We don't sit there and play with comp with them and say, "Oh, well, just give us DPS and then we'll get you out of bronze." I don't know if Cobalt, you want to talk a little bit about what you do in as far as how you kind of get these teams like the elementals to where they are. I just thought you were asleep. You didn't answer. I was like, he's asleep.
No, I don't.
We
I'm
lost
sleepy.
Ferd,
I don't
and
fall
we lost
asleep that
Cobalt.
easily. No, I'm still here. I'm just listening to all the nice things you guys are saying.
You're welcome, Mom.
No, over time we recruited a bunch of people from bronze, silver, low gold, and we start to basically do scrims and almost an equivalent of what like pickup games would be, where we mosh posh everybody around, and my coaching staff and I find like no, there's more than that. Whiplash and I have just been around the most lately. But we mix together everybody and we start finding synergies, and we start finding like separate by levels a little bit and start forming teams and basically passing down everything that we were taught, but at a bit of a more basic level. I like the idea of having like plats and diamonds coaching golds and silvers and bronzes, because there's a little bit more relation between there, instead of having top 500 grandmasters doing it because we've been there recently, you know, within like the last year, and we know what it's like and we know how to climb out. And we also get better at the game ourselves by coaching. And so, like, I've taken things that Affect and Kniz have taught me, and I've applied it to my students as well to help them climb out and eventually graduate into our esports teams.
Yeah. You ain't got that shit. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's cold. We're working on an academy team.
Hey, I like Ogosh. Ogosh are neat.
Nah, they're my
peeps.
favorite. Cause I don't know much about it. Oh gosh, really. But whenever the team leader joined,
Whenever what?
Your team leader joined, and I don't know, him and our like what is now that runs our esports as far as like Cal and our esports director. I had such a good rapport. It was just hilarious hearing them talk back and forth.
Fucking Quiznos, dude. God.
Dude, Quiznos is fantastic.
He's great. I love him, but God, he's such an old man.
Which I think is why, like, because how Callahan himself is like, I don't know, 100 years old with like 18 children, and I think that's why him and like Quiznos kind of hit this little like love niche between them.
Yep.
That's cute.
Like we are.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I have met Quiznos and I've met Quiznos' wife, and they are my grandparents. They are old.
I love it. All right. Basically the elementals win. That's what we're saying.
Yes, yes.
All of this is just for us to say the elementals win.
Yeah, the elementals are gonna beat Ragnarok.
It's just a huge
I
plug
feel like this
for the
this
elementals are gonna
looming
beat the
pressure
Ragnarok.
now.
Yeah, all the
Like
pressure.
If we underperform now, I feel like we're just gonna get like
Shame.
Like
Shame.
Yeah.
Just don't let any master ringers in next time, okay?
Yeah, jeez.
I still can't believe that actually happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stop being nice. If it goes past
Yeah.
10 minutes, too bad. Well, actually, now you don't have a choice. If it goes past 10 minutes, you can't do anything.
It's. I feel like if somebody brings in a ringer that's that high above their level, I don't know. I get being nice and letting people like still play. Like, by a little
well,
bit,
now with the way they rework the rule after that is that both teams have to agree. Then the person they bring in as a ringer has to have an open profile. The team gets to look at it, and they can decline or accept after looking at his profile.
Wait, was it not an open profile?
It was for about 45 or 60 seconds, and then he made it private.
See, now if
That
he
shit.
does that,
Wow,
now
so
if
they know
anyone
it was
does
fucked up.
that, if anyone
Wow.
does
Oh, they
that
knew.
now,
Yeah, they
can.
knew.
So, I do like the way that it was reworked.
Yeah, I
really
think
do.
the nuclear. I mean, but that's something, you know. The OCC is still pretty new. We're only in stage 2, so
Yeah,
that stuff's bound to happen until we get to a point where, you know, the rules get more fine tuned for stuff like that to not happen. So I mean, I guess in a way it was a good thing because now the rule is fixed, or we're more specific. But yeah,
Unfortunate that it happened.
and now Darktide's here.
Okay,
Introduce yourself, Darktide.
So that's a good segue.
Yo.
I wanted to kind of, I don't know how long we're probably gonna talk until we all just die apparently at this point, but
I think we can take out the TK on the OWL. I think we can take that out.
I am open for anything at this point. We've been talking
Same.
about the fucking the OCC 1 playoffs for like
for
fucking
hours.
We were talking about it forever.
Apparently,
God,
OCC 2 playoffs are just the best thing aside from that.
Well, like we said before, the 2 through 6 spot is just
It's so fluent.
It's
It
kinda-
can change so well.
Yeah, it was amazing. I don't know. I was surprised that we had that much material to talk about. To be honest.
Yeah, same
Here
here.
I'm creating all these like cool like little like gifos, and you know I can move around the emblems and whatnot, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna need these because I don't think we have enough content. I think we had plenty, but I want Tide to kind of like go into what we're gonna see in stage 3 for like anyone that gives a shit that's still watching, which is like probably only the few of us that are still in this casting chat. As he dude, his chuckle
Capital
is
D
fantastic.
colon. Capital D colon.
Tide. So, what is it that like I guess the question for you, like the things you're working on, how are they going to directly affect and make this? What is the OCC even better?
Well, the idea is that we're gonna have a lot more automation. So a lot of the things that we've been either neglecting or doing wrong, they're gonna be done by the web app that we're creating. So,
and by we're creating, you mean?
well, I mean me, but the idea is that it's not
gonna...
just me. Eventually, I hope.
So kind of like how I'm not allowed to touch the rosters. Dark Tide will not let me touch the new website because he's afraid I'm gonna break it.
Probably a good call.
Because he probably will break it.
Steve, like you own all of this and you break it.
I mean,
Well,
you barely touched the logos, and then you broke the roster, Steve.
I got.
Like you changed like 3 logos, and the rosters were broken all day.
No comment.
Oh god.
I'm just gonna pass this one to TK. TK, what's the news over there?
TK, what's new?
TK, how's the weather?
Save me from just being bashed.
So, Overwatch League. All right. So, I'm sure you guys have heard about the drama with Dogman recently. Trash talking. Okay, so recently, after Dogman's the Atlanta Reigns match with the Dallas Fuel, Atlanta Reign won, I believe, 4-0. And after the match, there was a press conference where somebody asked the team, as you know, none of Atlanta Reigns roster made it onto USA Team USA, and they asked Dogman his thoughts on that, and he started to bash one of the coaches who was also part of the Dallas Fuel, where like how he picked, some of these players that he had just beat, that they just clean swept and stomped, how he could pick some of them over any of Atlanta Reigns rosters, while Dogman himself said he underperformed in tryouts. This has brought a lot of like backlash on Twitter. People just bashing Dogman, and recently he's actually
was Dogman the one that just wore the clown costume?
Yes, the clown costume, because that's what people on his Twitter, he said something on Twitter about the situation, and people responded photoshopping a clown onto him, and he made that his Twitter profile. And then in their last match against the Boston Uprising, he appeared on stage wearing a clown wig.
Yeah,
and
it was. I don't know. I didn't know the concept or why, but I thought it was hysterical. It was good.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love Dogman as a player. He's a great dude.
I do too. He is a very good player.
Met him IRL, just had to flex, but great guy. He's the kind of guy. Him and Baby Bay both, the people that feed off of these things and like feed off of this this kind of drama that's going on. Like any kind of energy or attention, in a way. Like I'm starting a sports blog here soon, because I'm a sports media major.
Plug it.
And I will as soon as I get it up and running. But the first article is going to be why Dogman and Baby Bay are feeders and not in the way that you're thinking, because they feed off of this energy that like you could see it when we were at the Atlanta Reign homestand. They were just like, they played so much better than they had, because they had not had a win in stage 3 before the homestand, and seeing how they played when they were sitting in front of their own home crowd, it's just like it's insane how much better they played when they have something to feed off of. And then now looking at how this new meta has evolved, they've made it in top 6 and a guaranteed spot in the playoffs. It's just interesting. Overall, we're looking at the Titan, the Excelsior, I believe the Shock, uh, the Spark, the Glads, and the Atlanta Reign in the top 6 spots of the OWL. And then in postseason, we have the Spitfire, the Seoul Dynasty, the Guangzhou Charge. I pronounced that wrong. I believe it's Guangzhou.
I'm with you. I have no clue how that's.
Philadelphia Fusion, Shanghai Dragons, and Chengdu Hunters. So I believe 2 teams make it in. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah, two teams from the
2 teams
from the
from the
play-ins.
cutoff make it in.
Yes.
So my picks right now for the 2 teams that make it in are going to be Shanghai and Spitfire. Spitfire is very strong.
Really?
Yes. Spitfire is very strong. They only just missed the playoffs because they lost to the Atlanta Reign. I believe they
Let
lost.
me drop this in. I actually just clipped it, and I'll make it bigger on our little thingy. So you're saying Dragons take Fusion and the Charge take the Hunters?
Yeah, I can. The Charge are always just a fluid pick. You never know what they're gonna come out with, and you never know how they're gonna play because they're such meta breakers.
And they have Fraggy now.
But even the
Yeah,
7 and 8 seeds, Spitfire Dynasty, you don't see going through, even though they have that kind of buy.
No, I see the Spitfire going through.
Oh, okay.
All right, what about if you take into account last stage, I believe it was, Seoul completely upset Excelsior. The Excelsior just got, like, I don't know what they were doing, but the Seoul just came in and had a huge upset against them. Like, Seoul's hard to go against sometimes, though, and so is Fusion. Fusion, when they play on point, it really is on point.
You're not wrong, but Fusion's success completely comes down to their main tank, and I honestly don't think that Sato is up to the par. I think that that's like that match is really where it matters, because if Shanghai loses, then and Philly goes on to go against Seoul moves forward, because I don't think Philly goes through. I think Philly's good, but I do not think that Sato is good
So
enough.
you think Shanghai loses, Philadelphia goes through, Philadelphia loses, Shanghai goes through?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Shanghai is such a wonky team right now. You saw that they got they got their stage 3 win, and everybody was rooting for them. But they came out this stage and, like, where are they at? Nobody, like, they haven't made big waves this stage. I don't remember what their stage record is, but it's not good. Check.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like they did really well at Triple DPS.
Yeah, exactly. And then they came into this 2-2-2. Yeah, they're 18th in this stage. They are 1-6 this stage. So it's so fluid right now, because if they can come out swinging against Philly, then I do think that Philly won't be up to the par. But it solely depends on how Shanghai comes out.
I think even with the new roster and everything this year, I think the main issue with Shanghai is still coming back to what was kind of the root of the problem last year, which is when it comes to like their coaching, they're very set into running their thing, and that's it.
Yep.
And so they found something that worked for them last stage, and it was brilliant. This stage, they keep running. They go into so many maps without DM, so that they can run like Youngjin on Doomfist. And like, I can't remember specific maps, but there were a lot of times I was watching their games, and I was like, man, it would be great if you had your Widow with you right now. If you had like your hit scan.
DM is the best Widow in the league, and I'm gonna stand by that. I'm gonna die on that. I'm gonna die on that. on that hill. I
Really?
believe that. Yep, I believe that.
He's real fucking good, man. He's very good.
He is really good, but I don't know if I'd put him at the best.
Who do you put at the best on?
I'd have to go back through the DPS players. It's been so long since I've gotten to see them play DPS. I saw DM play DPS, and he is. I cannot deny that he is one of the best.
Specifically on Widow, I think that DM is the best Widow in the league. If he stays on Widow, I believe that if Shanghai come out with DM, they beat Fusion and then beat Seoul. But I think that if not, Philly beat Shanghai and then Seoul beat Fusion and move in on that 8th spot. Or on that on that 8th spot. So what I'm thinking the playoffs are going to be, and I really don't think it matters. Do we have a playoff bracket right now?
I can probably pull one up. Let me download it. I'm just kind of shooting bots while we talk.
Steve can't flick. Steve can't flick. I
just shoot everywhere.
Eventually, you'll hit somebody.
Which one am I getting? I have the other one.
The finals. The final playoffs, not the play-in, but the playoffs.
Oh, okay, yeah. I did not get those. The finals emojis. Los Angeles Valiant, right? I'm so sad.
See, that's the thing. I'm talking to chat here, but that's the thing, Chris. I think Shanghai's good about playing around DM.
Yeah, Triple DPS worked out so well for them because with all three of their DPS players, I would argue, are potentially the best at what they do in the league. Youngjin's Doomfist is absolutely nutty.
Yeah,
Ding on Pharah or Sombra is crazy. But they can't have all three of them in anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to pick which two. Can you find it for us, Steve?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they've been really committing to they've been really committing to running this, like this really set comp, and it's just not working for them too well. In like with the 2-2-2 lock, I don't know. It makes them so easy to counter.
Yep.
And if they just go onto something, and they know, like they know if DM's not in there, it's like they're gonna lose the hit scan battle.
What are we gonna talk about?
We're gonna talk about OCC.
There we go.
I think we're talking about how the meta is going to go effective, but I'm not positive we're gonna finally get there.
So
okay.
the Titans,
I don't know if we will or not.
The Titans will play what is? Let me drop it on
the 8th seed, and then Excelsior will play the 7th seed. No, yes. Excelsior will play the 7th seed.
And Excelsior will play the 7th, which when I flip back to the play-in bracket, you'll see from there. And what we're saying is Dragons is going to be the lower seed, and Spitfire is going to be the higher seed.
Yes.
I'm just glad the Dragons made the playoffs.
So we're going to say, so can Shanghai beat the Titans? We've seen them do it already.
No.
But we've seen them do it.
It is a very different meta, though, and they do not look comfortable in this meta yet.
Exactly.
And they look like they're just sticking.
Shanghai was able to play at their best, which completely countered what Titans were doing. The Titans are a whole different team right now. Not, like roster-wise, but how they're playing.
What's nice about the Titans is it kind of goes along the mentality of like what I set with the OCC is that a team with chemistry is going to win.
Yeah.
And the Titans, I don't know, what is the team that they came from? Does anyone know?
Runaway. Yeah,
Runaway. Yeah. And like, and that's brilliant. If you're going to drop $40 million in a franchise, which is what it costs for the new teams to come in, right? And Vancouver's like, yeah, we want to be a new team in. They drop that money, and then after that, you have a team. Shit, now I have to roster it. What are you gonna do? You can do what other teams did, and I think the Florida Mayhem kind of like dropped the ball, because Florida Mayhem kind of took two teams. They kind of took the core of, what was it? Not Iceland, or was it Poland?
Finland?
Maybe, yeah, I think it was Finland. They took the core of Finland, and they took a core of one of the, I can't remember if it was Korean or Chinese teams, and they tried to like mesh them together, and it just didn't work. To where Titans were just like, nah, we're going to take Runway, and they're a team that has already been a team. They've been a team for a long time.
They've
This-
been a successful.
The thing is,
And
though, is you know
successful.
Shanghai basically did that with Kung Fu Pantera for their new players.
Yeah, for the new one, which is why they've been successful. But they didn't. I don't think they did that the first season.
So
No, the
here's-
first. Well, I mean the first season there were a lot of issues with U4 kind of just putting in his boy, and I think they actually were. I think a lot of them actually were on a team before. It wasn't a major team, but there was a lot of like weird, like really sketchy stuff with the coach kind of screwing over Shanghai at the
Yes,
beginning, and
Shanghai-
it was something they
Shanghai
never
was-
recovered from.
Shanghai was absolutely fucked last season because of their coach.
Yeah, they never got a fair shot. They got off to such a rough start because the coach screwed them over, and it really sucked.
So back to what we were saying. Can Shanghai beat the Titans? No.
If they stop trying to just run the same thing into the ground over and over again, I think they have the talent to. I think it really comes down to a coach thing, and then just like doubling down on comps that aren't working for some reason, which is they just have like super conservative coaches, and I think it hurts them
And
when
that's
there's
why
big meta
that's why
changes.
I think I like. Yes, Ding is amazing on Pharah. Yes, Youngjin is amazing on Doomfist. Yes. DM is amazing on Widow. Like we said before, though, you can't play all three of them at the same time. You gotta pick two, and whatever you're going to pick, the Vancouver Titans are going to counter, and they are going to beat you. So I do not see Shanghai winning this match, and I don't think that it's going to be particularly close.
Yeah, it does not look good for them this stage. I hate to say it. I've been like a
but
Shanghai fan since like day one, but
I
it's
love it because I mean, like, look at where they came from. They came from
Yeah.
a.
There's been so many
they
great.
went from 040 to stage 3 champs to possibly make it in.
Went from the literal
final playoffs.
biggest losing streak in sports history. That includes esports and physical sports.
Yes.
Worst losing streak in the history of either one.
Yes.
And then here they are.
So moving on, we were all rooting for Shanghai stage 3 champs. Moving on, the Glads versus the Spark. I have not seen much of the Spark. I do know that Surefour is a fucking monster, though.
Gladiators are really good right now.
It is hard to ever since now that he can play DPS again, it is very, 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 very difficult to pick against him. Surefour is one of the best DPS players in this league.
I think the Glads take that. I think it's going to be really close, but I think it ends up 3-1 Glads. Moving on, that will be Excelsior versus the Spitfire, which I think the Spitfire take this. You look at Excelsior's stage 3 or stage 4, right? They built their team around goats.
They did.
You know, for
Mono is simply just not there outside of goats.
Yep. Me and my team have talked about this at length because we talk about
New York
Overwatch
a
League
lot.
Yeah, just Overwatch League in general. A lot of teams came out, and like this is why we said like a lot of like Quiznos and Sham Palzar captain said that it's kind of unfair to introduce the 2-2-2 right at the start of stage 4 instead of next season because teams like Excelsior and there's another team that did it. Like,
I mean, I'll say the Shock and Titans adapted nicely, but had 2-2-2 exist, it would have been Shock Titans in the finals guaranteed.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, not 2-2-2. If
Goats.
If it's
had
just
existed.
goats, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Titans adapted well. Excelsior did. Excelsior's win rate this stage.
They adapted well, but slow. It took them until the end of the stage for sure to
adapt.
Their win rate, they are 1-6 this. No, sorry, 3-4 this stage. With I believe all 3 last. Don't quote me. I might be wrong.
No, I really think that Titans have really adapted well. Because if it was still goats, they would still be top. They were the goats team. There was no beating them on goats. And
I mean,
I
until
am
they
proud
got
of
beat
how
on
well.
goats.
I am proud of how well they've adapted, though. They were just so good at goats, and they just rolled through, really. And like, I mean, that's what happened when I was talking about New York getting upset by the Soul Dynasty. Is it was still in goats meta, and they came out with somber goats, and New York just didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know how to handle going against somebody who wasn't running Zenyatta goats. They
And
didn't.
who's their deep? Like I always forget the name. Excelsior's DPS.
I don't know. When everyone thinks of
Flowers,
Excelsior, they think of
SBB, and
oh
Pond.
yeah,
Big
Flower. Flower's really good
the
though.
big Sombra guy.
I don't know.
Can't remember. his name.
Sabiobi too, right?
Sabiobi.
Yeah, Sabiobi. That's it.
SBB.
Sabiobi.
I like Flower a lot.
SBB is cracked right now. His mental is not right. I don't know. Like it's been talked about at length with Overwatch League. He's just not in his right mind right now, and he's not playing well because of. I think
Flower
that,
has been doing really well though for what he's worth.
Yeah.
I think that London come out angry that the Atlanta Reign beat them out of the the finals. That they had to play in that play-in, and I think they come out red hot and angry, beat the Excelsior.
Yeah, I mean, when most people think of Excelsior, their first
see
thought
it.
is automatically Jay Jonak.
Well, yeah,
and really,
and
go ahead.
truthfully, even with the Spitfire, and something I haven't even really seen, even though the 222 came in, is we haven't seen a lot of Bird Ring and what's their Genji?
Their
Why am I
Genji
blanking?
player, I know they have Profit.
Profit. We haven't seen a lot
Yeah,
of Bird
that's
Ring
him.
Profit, and like the Bird Ring Profit is really like that took them to the next level and pretty much won them the championship last year. So this is a team that, like, if with practice and getting back to 222, and if they've gotten their schmegma together, I think it's a team that could really surprise some people. If
I
they
do.
Run,
I think
if
like,
they run the proper, I know personally there's a dive that runs against the double shield, and if there's a team that could run it, I believe it would be
The Spitfire.
The Spitfire.
That's what they made their name off of. That's how they won finals last year. Their
Yeah.
dive, because fucking Profit is a goddamn maniac.
I mean, he's a god.
So
yeah,
we have the Titans, we have the Glads winning. I have the Spitfire winning against Excelsior, and then Atlanta Reign and San Francisco Shock. The Shock are very strong. Don't get me wrong. But Atlanta is
To me, all this in the end is
undefeated
obsolete.
this stage for a reason.
Well, I don't know. To me, all this is obsolete because San Francisco takes the championship.
I don't think so. I think Atlanta beats them the first week.
I just don't see it. The pool for San Francisco Shock, like their depth is so huge, and I don't know. Sinatra's been playing like a madman.
And I agree. Yeah, he's a MVP finalist for a reason.
I mean, really, Sinatra can't be taken for granted ever. He is. I mean, there is a reason he was, just so good. And what he did is like back in Goats. There's a reason he was so good at Zarya, and even now, the reason he's so good at what he does, you can't go against him. But Atlanta, it's like you were saying, Atlanta Reign is undefeated for a reason.
And
there's
give
going to
it
be a
the
reason.
to give it to the Shock are undefeated in this season this stage as well. However, I think that Atlanta comes out and wins this stage playoffs, and then has time to adapt to, like, they get that first week bye with the Sigma stuff. They get to watch other teams play Sigma and see how it's going to happen, and then adapt to the metal that's gonna happen when Sigma comes out for the double shield and shit. So do the Shock. The Shock get that as well.
Well, wait. Which buy are you talking about?
They get that week bye while the other teams
there's
are playing.
There's no real buy. Like, it ends all next week. Next week, you know who's going to the finals.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought, when did the play-ins happen?
Early next week.
Oh, okay. Well, doesn't change my point. They both get that brief respite where they.
But what they have is they don't have to play games on Monday, Tuesday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So both the Shock and the Raid get that. I think that, and you can call me out for it. I am a little bit biased because I am an Atlanta Rain fan, but I think that this stage has been representative of how they are this stage playoffs or this finals playoffs. And I believe that I agree with you. I believe that if the Shock beat the Rain here, there's no stopping. They're going to win the
Yeah,
match.
I was gonna say I think Shock has a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I think they do, and I think that could be coming in handy against the Rain, because from what I've seen in the past, because like I said, I haven't watched a whole lot. This stage I haven't. I just haven't had time really. I go to sleep earlier than I used to.
Right.
But the Rain, if you can stop their momentum, then you win.
I think it comes down to the first map.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they
First
stop
map.
their momentum on that first map, I think it's a win. For whichever team stops the other's momentum.
It's going to be it's going to be a great match for Goodless. I personally have the Rain coming out. But I think it's open to discussion. So
But though,
further
we're gonna
in
have to
the
be very
series, so
good
we
with
have the Titans, we have
finding
Glads,
off angles.
we have
There we go,
the
TPM with
Spitfire, and then we have
sensational
Undecided.
already down.
So I
Now I
believe
just
the
need to
Titans
take
would
out runaway.
face the
280
lowest
gets the
remaining
pick.
seed
Nice,
still,
that is very
right?
good from them.
How does that work?
And that's gonna single-handedly open the point up for Airy to take it, as they're just gonna
You
be
guys
lacking
know?
all that damage. TPM,
I do
he's
not.
on a round.
What was it? Fill us in.
So we have the Titans, the Glads, the Spitfire, and then Undecided. Who do the Titans play? Is it the lowest remaining seed?
I don't think it's low. Maybe it is. I don't know. They do that lowest crap that I'm not a fan of. I don't think aside from maybe I don't think any of the incoming teams can kind of finish. Like, it's hard for me to not see San Francisco, New York, or Titans not one of the final two teams.
I could probably see Gladiators as one of the finalists at least, because like we were saying, Sure4 is just one of the best DPS in the game in the end.
But he's
Like I could see them
slowly
losing it.
aging out. And this was a big thing Clum and myself were talking about last night, and like the age of esports heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can piss him off.
If you can.
Hey, Clum.
Oh God. Yeah.
We want to kind of like hone in on like what we were talking about last night, like as far as like the aging of esports.
About the what?
Like the players of esports and like their age and what they're kind of hitting, and why they're kind of like hitting these stumps. Because they were talking about like Sure4, and they're saying like Gladiators could go far because Sure4 is kind of like at the top of his game, which I'm not saying he's not.
I mean, we can kind of talk about that with Minnie. That's why I was talking to him right now. Is he's asking me why he's hard stuck where he is.
Well, let's bring Minnie in.
Yeah.
And
do it.
get deep into this.
Hi, Minnie.
Hey, Minnie, we're gonna get deep into it.
So, the topic that they're talking about is troubles that people have with plateauing at their skill rank or feeling like they just can't get better. Do you have anything to add to this?
What?
So just for some context, everyone here,
we're comparing
Minnie
Ninja
is one of the main tanks
to
for Jean
Sure4.
Fenrir.
I love it.
And he's a young guy. He's about 14 years old, 13, right? 13, 14?
Yeah.
And he's been stuck in gold for a really long time. But I've seen the kid play, and he has exceptional mechanics. He's a tank player, but he hits Widow flick shots like he was born to fucking do them, or that he's 13 and has like the fountain of youth on his side. So the question is, why is he having such a hard time getting out? And what I was telling him is that I think it's just focusing on too many things at once and the mentality that you have going into it. So someone like Surefour, who is very young, or technically at the peak of his prime or whatever, right, is a really consistent player, and he's not really like the Sinatra. He's not really like the Jay Jonak. He's not really like the guy that everyone's thinking like, oh my god, he's gonna pop off this round. You know, sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. You know, and I feel like that's because for him, Surefour doesn't rely on his age to kind of like define, like his skill is not defined by like how young he is. You know, it's not dependent on his reflexes, it's not dependent on his crazy aim. It's dependent on him understanding what he needs to accomplish minimally, doing that every single game, and whether they win or lose, he's making sure that he always does his job. And I feel like when you look at strong DPS players, everyone's expecting everyone to have like this crazy star power or whatever, when all you really need is just someone to not fucking die, you know? And Surefour does that. He's at the peak of his career and he pops off, but people don't really know him for being like the carry for the Los Angeles Gladiators.
Even though he really is one of the best in the league.
He is, because he's consistent and he's unshakable. But just because he doesn't hit those like 10 out of 10s all the time, he's at a constant 7 or 8. When someone like Sinatra, if he gets shut down, you know, Titans win stage 3, stage 4.
No one talks about Sinatra getting shut down, but if Sinatra pops off, they're like, oh, did you see what he just did?
Yeah, exactly. No one cares about, you know, everyone's trying to like compare esports to like traditional sports, you know, like we're looking for the next Kobe, we're looking for the next Shaq, when like in reality,
Which
like come on,
is,
like we've all
is
had those
true,
fucking.
I believe, but there's also those few players to where like Alexi Lawless, if anyone knows about like U.S. soccer and their history, and like he never really popped off the boards as far as statistics, but he was a solid player and he carried, you know, what is the United States national team due to his like always on performance. So they're like, even in sports themselves, there's always that person there that's maybe not the you know, the Tom Brady, it's got to be fantastic almost every single week, but they're just consistently good, and you have them for that reason.
No, exactly. Like I'm sorry. Like I'm gonna be honest here, in that my experience in traditional sports is deeply rooted in basketball. So
Same here.
I think that's a
it's
different
like
league to where they're just looking for the LeBron.
no, yeah. So like we have the LeBrons, we have the Kobes, we have the Jordans, but does anyone ever talk about Tim Duncan, right?
Tim Duncan, one of the best big men of all